All right, welcome, folks. Good to have you here, whether you're watching live right now or if you're watching on YouTube. Rienzo saying hi to the folks on YouTube. We're doing another Master of Orion game. We actually finished a Master of Magic game last week. And since I just did a Civ 4 game before that, I figured we'll go ahead and do a Master of Orion game. This is always very popular when I stream this. So I thought about different things we could do. Obviously, we've done a lot of Master of Orion games, and I thought, let's do a game. I haven't played the Klackons in a long time. We'll do standard settings here, medium impossible, 5 opponents. And I thought I'd do the Klackons for this game, but I was thinking, what kind of variant can I do that fits the Klackons, like thematically, but is also will be entertaining. Not like ridiculously difficult, but like just something that's kind of fun to do. And I came up with this idea. We'll play the Klackons, and our variant will be our ships can only move one tile at a time on the combat screen. Not warp one, I did think about that. But limiting your ships to warp one movement is just incredibly painful. And that is in a way that's not fun to play. So we can move as fast as we want on the galaxy map, but on the combat map, I'll limit ourselves to only one movement at a time. Which definitely makes the game harder because you can't outrun missiles, you can't outrun enemy ships. It makes bombing enemy planets in particular a lot harder because you have to eat like 4 or 5, I think you have to eat like 5 or 6 rounds of missiles before your ships can get close enough to the planet to actually drop their bombs. The trade-off is you can fit more stuff on each ship, but it's generally still worth it. You usually want at least some extra combat speed. Are we allowed to get the subspace teleporter? Let's see how the game's going. We can answer that question later on. It also fits thematically for the Klackons. Klackons are excellent in construction tech. They are poor in propulsion. It's their big tech weakness. Also, welcome, Grillo. Glad you could drop in. All right, so we're playing as the Klackons. I always use green banners with the Klackons. We do have a chance to name our leader here, so I will give chat a chance to name the leader if you want. I have not actually... Endless Space... Is that the game that I've played? Endless Space? I'm trying to remember if that's the other space game that I did on stream or not. Welcome those of you just getting here. Is that the one that's in my library or is that a different game? Yes, Endless Space 2 is the one I've played a bit and it's supposed to be a pretty good game. Did they make a change to that one? Yes, the one with the Vultures. Yeah, that's right. The one with the Vultures and the... Horatio and whatnot. Bugsy's pretty good. I'm down for that. Emperor Bugsy seems pretty amusing. Oh, and then our homeworld. We have a chance to now. This is the only chance we get to name our homeworld. So once we put this name in, we cannot change it ever. The only way we'd be able to do that is if the planet was taken. If it was completely bombed out, the colony was destroyed, and then we recolonized it. And we don't really want that to happen. Sarah from Gears of Wars. I don't know Gears of War. That's not a series I've played. I'm sure that that's a good name, but I like the Nest. The best. Good. There was one time I accidentally just typed the letter O for a planet. I was trying to type something and I hit the enter key by accident, so we had a planet that was just named the letter O. The Nest is pretty good. All right, let's see. Where on the galactic map are we? We are north central. Let's see. This nebula is going to be a pain in the butt. I can already tell you this is going to be a huge pain. All right, yellow star in range. We always want to look at where the yellow stars are because AIs can only spawn at yellow stars. We have kitty, bears, humans, Meklar, Sakura. Okay, it's a non-silicoid game, a non-Cylon game. That's pretty good. The downside is there's a lot of Klackon racial enemies here. There's a lot of races that do not like them. The Sakura do not like the bugs. And the, I believe the Merchants don't like them either. Let me refresh my memory on who dislikes that. So there's a long-running debate about whether the Sakura or, not the Sakura, the Cylons or the Klackons are the best in the game. The Cylons obviously get all the extra research ability, and the Klackons have the big production bonus, which I'll talk more about in a minute. I've seen a lot of people say they think the Klackons are better than the Cylons. I think the Klackon benefit bonus, racial bonus is reasonably close. to the Cylon one. I think the Cylon benefit is about as good. Even the Klackon one gets you out to a faster start, but the Cylon bonus to research scales better throughout the rest of the game. So I rate them pretty evenly. But there's one big difference between the Klackons and the Cylons. And the biggest difference, and the reason why the Cylons I think are better, the Cylons have no racial enemies at all. Like they have no diplomatic penalties whatsoever, whereas the Klackons are pretty disliked. I'll put this on screen real quick so you can just see. Here's the diplomatic matrix. So the Klackons, they're uneasy with the Alkari, they're uneasy with the Mercians, they're uneasy with the Darloks, though everyone is with them, they're uneasy with the Sakra, and they're uneasy with the Silicoids. So for as great as their ability is, they have a pretty big diplomatic penalty. The only races that don't have a penalty with them are the Bullrathi, the Meklar, the Cylons, and then the humans, who everybody likes. So in this particular galaxy, every single person's going to dislike us except the Bullrathi and the humans. Everybody else is going to dislike us, and that is a pretty big issue. So let's see. So we can make friends with the Bullrathi, but we can't make friends with Kitty or the Meklar or the Sakra. They're all going to dislike us. Oh, no, the Meklar, we're neutral with them, too. Okay. So it could be worse. We actually dodged some of our racial enemies here. We don't have Alkari to worry about in this galaxy. Okay. You're thinking of Master of Orion 2. Master of Orion 2 is the one that has creative and stuff like that. That's not in this game. All right, again, AI races can only spawn at yellow stars, and they must be at least 7 parsecs away. So this is good. There is no AI race there. It's only 6 parsecs away. So we have we have to have some definite space. Hopefully this nebula will shield us. So there's almost certainly at least 1 AI down here, maybe 2. And then there's a huge cluster of them over here. This looks like a pretty good draw as far as how the map is set up. So hopefully we'll have some space to branch out. Biggest place we'd like to go is in this. This would actually be very significant if we could control this planet. The downside is if there's no habitable planet here, we've set ourselves back pretty significantly. There's actually 4 planets within 3 parsec range here. So this is probably where we want to send our colony ship, because if this is habitable, then it extends range an enormous distance in this direction. But we do have to cross our fingers and hope that we can get there. And then I'll send 1 ship here. I'll send the last one to the yellow, just so we can see what's there. If there's not a habitable planet here, we're probably backtracking to the yellow. White star south of the nebula does look important. This is in the nebula, by the way, so shields won't work here. I think the nest is outside the nest may be inside the nebula as well. It's hard to tell. I wish the game would tell you clearly if you're in the nebula or not. That would be bad if our home planet's in a nebula. It might well be. Oh, further south? Oh, this down here? Not the blue star. Oh, further south. Okay. I see what you're saying. It's hard to say. That could be significant. It might not. Look at the race in the bottom right has a lot of space. There's definitely an AI, almost certainly an AI here. Although it's not guaranteed. The AIs could be at any of these other stars. We could actually have all 6 clustered here, or all 5 opponents here. It's unlikely, but they could all be here, in which case the map is like a cakewalk. We'll see. Hopefully, I would love it if the humans were down there in the south. Let's go ahead and do our standard thing where we scrap all the other designs and we create the Scout 2, which is cheaper. And yes, this is the base version of the game. It's not, we need to put the long range, we need to put the reserve fuel tanks on. It's not any of the many versions that people have done that are like the modded versions. All right, so what's the advantage of the Klackons? Let me cover what specifically they do. The Klackons' ability is they get doubled production from population. So there's 2 sources of production in this game. Well, technically 3, because you can also get trade route income. But let's ignore trade route income for the moment. You get your production from 2 things. One is from factories. Every factory produces 1 billion credits, or BC, which is the game's currency. It produces 1 of these per turn. Has to be, but the factories do have to be worked. For right now, we have enough population to work all 30 factories. So we get 30 production from our factories, and the rest of your production comes from your population. So we have 40 million population on here, and by default, your population produces half of a BC per pop point. So 40 pop would normally produce 20 BC. So normally at the start of the game, 30 factories, 20 BC, 30 production from factories, 20 from population. At the start of the game, you normally have around 50 production per turn. That's normal. We're the Klackons. Our racial bonus is we double the production we get from population. So instead of getting half production per pop point, we get a full BC of production per pop point. So we don't start the game with 50 BC. We start the game with 70 BC because every pop point also produces a one production per turn. So that's how we're getting the 72 here. We're actually making 72 production per turn. However, because the colony ship is expensive, we're actually having to spend a lot of money on maintenance for the colony ship. So we get an effective 59 per turn. This is way higher than other races get. Again, other races are typically starting with, what? They're starting with like 50, I think they start with 51 base and then they lose 16% off of that. So that goes down to like 42. We get a lot more than them. And as we grow our pop, that's going to increase further. So the Klackons have the fastest growth curve of basically anyone. The Silicoids get more production because they don't pay for waste cleanup, but their population grows so much slower. The Klackons very quickly outstrip them. So we have an awesome early game. Really, really fast early game. We will be able to build these scouts, and we'll be able to build colony ships faster than anyone else can do it. So that's their big racial advantage. Their growth curve is amazing. We grew 2 pop points. Very good. We have nothing to do for the first 3 turns. We just want that colony ship. Now, we are praying that there's a habitable planet here. This makes it possible to jumpstart a planet's production with population. Yes, exactly. So when you first colonize a planet, you have no factories, right? There's no factories. It's all population supplying the production. Klackons get doubled production from population, so they can stand up new planets really, really fast. They will build up new colonies faster than anyone. Again, it's an extremely powerful racial ability, but the downside is poor diplomacy, and they are rated poor in propulsion tech. And that is a pretty big weakness. Of course, they're excellent in construction, which is really handy. Yeah, any new Klackon planet is literally twice as good as anyone else. But again, you can overcome this with technology. Everything in the game is like that. As your planetology tech increases, you do actually get more production from your population as well. I'm not sure everybody knows that, but when you get, I believe it's when you get to tech level 50, everyone gets 1 production per pop. I believe it's at tech level 50, and if you're at like tech level 25, I think you get 0.75 production per pop or something like that. Now the Klackons still double that advantage. They would still get double that in the late game, but clearly their ability is mostly an early game edge. Of course, the early game is the most important part of the game, so you would want your bonuses to be up front in the beginning. What cheats does the AI get on Impossible? They get a lot. They I don't know off the top of my head, but they get like massively increased research and production. So it's a snowball edge. All right. So the good news is this is a beautiful planet. It's a Terran 95. So that's really nice. Of course, what we want is this planet to be habitable. But if it's not, we can backtrack to that one. All right. Well, at least it's not this. That is no planets. Ah! That's going to set us back a little bit. That's unfortunate. I still stand by the decision to go there, but now it's going to take 5 turns to fly up there. We got a bad result, unfortunately. Oh well. Still, there's a good spot to go over there, so it's not the end of the world. But the downside is we're going to have to keep paying maintenance on that ship for the next 5 turns. So obviously we've delayed our growth curve a little bit here. Anyway, time to build some more Scout 2s. Again, we can build quite a few of them. Let's see how many we need overall. How many planets are within 6 parsec range? All right, this one is within range. I'm going to send you forward to here. Let's see. So we're going to have this one covered. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's out of range. Looks like we need 8 at the moment. Is that right? Hold on. Let's see. So 1. That's out of range, isn't it? See, this is why I was really hoping. Now it's only Baron, so it's the lowest hostile class, and there's no silicoids in this galaxy, so we can probably still get here. What was it? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can we reach this one? 9, 9, 10. Okay, so we need 9 minus the 2 star, so we need 7, I think. And we can build... All right, so we should have all the scouts we need immediately on this turn. All right, so you're going to colonize that. You're going to go there. Okay. You go here. And we just have to remember these two are covered, and we grab everything else. I counted the system with... Yeah, I still want a scout over the system with no planet. I still want one there. I'm aware I counted the one with no planet. All right, so then we got all our scout 2s built. Go back to building factories because there's nothing else we can do. That way you can still see enemy ships if they're in the area, if they would fly by. All right, so now we're going to send to that planet there. Here. Do. All right, over here. And don't I have one more? Where else can I reach? Okay, can't reach here, here. I'm already sending over there, aren't I? Wasn't there another planet? Did I overcount? Am I missing one of these? I feel like I have an extra. I feel like I have one more place I'm supposed to go to. No, I'm sending there. Okay. Did I send one up to here? I hate it when this happens. I can't tell where they're going. Oh, they all just say unknown system. That's not going to be helpful. Oh well. I'll hold it over the nest right now. It should be clear pretty quickly. All right. Ah, it's that red star. I never clicked on one to the red star. That's okay. That was the one I thought I maybe had missed. All right, so now there's nothing to do but click next turn until the ships arrive. I do always love when they're all fanning out together. All right, 2 more turns until this colony ship arrives. You can see the spending on the maintenance is actually going down. That's because the planet's growing. But we kind of need this planet to grow pop for the nest. So that was a bit unfortunate. All right, toxic rich. I mean, we do need some of these planets. We only found 1 habitable planet so far out of the first 4 we scouted. So that's not so great. I mean, that one is a really nice one. By the way, we need a name for this awesome planet. I don't love having a toxic rich planet back there. So, all right, we wasted a few turns. Obviously, the best odds for having a good planet were here at this yellow, but I still stand by going to the spot that would extend our range into the middle of the galaxy. Pants, Earth. I don't know what Earth is supposed to mean, but I'm laughing, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. Another, oh, wow. Having 2 of the first 5 scouts you scout come back with no planet is a pretty rough blow. Especially because it's going to make expanding west a lot harder. This is not the best neighborhood, unfortunately. This is, yeah, this is, okay. None, and then a toxic planet. This is, yeah, it's not great. Hopefully there'll be room to expand out a little bit further. The idea is there's ants in your pants? Okay. All right, the good news is now we don't have to spend on that. And now, this is the reason why I didn't want to go to this planet. It doesn't extend our range anywhere. Like, there's no planet that was out of range before that is now in range. Like, it didn't help our range concerns at all. Good news is we can now, you know, we get out from under those maintenance costs. Let's send, I'll send 10 million, and that should be enough to get this started. I don't want to send more than that. I'll do 1 extra click because I don't want it to go into negative time. Or I don't want the planet to start waste spending. All right. So we can do 9 factories per turn. And then this planet this will get it to 12 out of 95. That'll be enough to get it started. And yeah, we're just hoping we get some good news. All right, okay, Barren. Barren is going to be a high priority for us to research controlled barren or controlled tundra. Okay, and another Terran, another massive Terran planet, but it's poor. This is a pretty crummy neighborhood for, like, pretty terrible neighborhood, I have to say, unfortunately. All right. I mean, like, there's 2 big planets, but this one's great, admittedly, but the double barons is Not good looking. I mean, 110 fertile is still juicy. Yeah, it's true. That's a good spot. All right, now that's 6. The downside though is it's 6 parsecs, and like we can't even range 5 is not going to get us there. Like that's hard to reach this spot. So we're kind of locked out from getting to the west, like at all on this map. This is actually looking pretty rough here. And yes, there are events in this game, but this looks rough. Because there's no way to get over here. We'd have to have long range engines, which granted we're excellent in construction, so maybe we can do that. But it looks rough here. Like we might be stuck on 2 planets for a while, and that is not good. Just a nasty local neighborhood. All right, another barren world. What the heck? Okay, and this is a minimal rich size 60, but it's in the nebula, and it's also range 6. I mean, what the heck? What is this map? This is some kind of map. I mean, if we have controlled barren versus not having controlled barren, feels like it's kind of a big deal on this map. I mean, a rough map. And we can't even get a scout over there to explore this because it's still 7 parsecs, right? Yeah, it's still 7 parsecs. Now, if we were to have controlled barren, range 4 would get us out of here. Yeah, range 4 gets us. Actually, we don't even need expanded range here. Yeah, ow, yikes. Okay. Well, we need to have controlled. We basically need controlled barren, or we're not even a factor in this game if we can't get controlled barren or controlled tundra. But I would actually research controlled barren over like. I mean, I would get plus 10 terraforming if it's there because it's super cheap. But if it's not there, we're in deep doo-doo. Klackons or no, this map is horrible. No, Barren and Tundra are not on the same rung. Barren's on the first rung, Tundra and Dead are on the second. Good question, though. We need Tundra Toxic anyway. Yeah, well, remember, Toxic is way down the tech tree. Controlled Tundra, Controlled Barren is like 500 RP. Controlled Toxic is like 8,000. So it makes a big difference. How early you get them makes a big difference. All right, anyway, Earth is starting to grow. Had the population transfer arrive. So now the main thing we do is we just let the factories build up for a few turns, like the next half dozen turns. Factory construction is going to outstrip production in like the worst way. But it's the opposite of what you get with the silicoids. Although it's not quite as bad as the Sakura. All right, so yeah, we just hit next turn a couple times. We're growing pop, we're building factories. See, like we already have the max popping up. That means factory production is like already outstripping population. But that's not bad. What we'll do is we can build the factories beyond what our pop holds, and then we'll be able to migrate in some pop from Earth to fill them in like 3 or 4 turns. We might need to build a huge colony ship. I prefer to just do one with long range, be able to fit long range fuel cells on a large hull. But we might have to. You never know. Alrighty, so again, just chilling for the time being. Factories are like right around 2 times population. Yeah, I mean, look at this, 200 production is nice. Now, one nice thing is we can generate a lot of research points pretty quickly because we're the Klackons. All right, so I mean, it keeps saying max, but like we're only okay. So like we finally outstripped the factories, like just about on this turn, because now we can only fill 142 of those factories. But again, we're yeah. Let's build close to full. Let's build to like 180. Yeah, I want to just kind of fill up the factories because I can always send in more pop from Earth here, and then we'll drop in eternal research because we're gonna need to do research to spread out. There's no planet we can grab immediately, so we might as well play like the longer, more economically efficient game here because there's no place we can race out to anyway. I will open up the text when I can dump a big turn's worth of spending into them, which is, we'll do one more turn of factories. This will get us almost maxed out on factories. All right, so we have 195. So now's a good turn. We'll dump in research to seed the tech field. We're probably going to keep doing research. All right. So we can dump in like 200, almost 200 BC. And the only ones we care about are planetology and propulsion. We'll just split, we'll just do equal on both of these. They're the only fields we care about right now. I often like to open construction with the Klackons because they're so good at it, but it's not going to help us here. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, it's there. Yes. And it's cheap. It's only 360. All right. That is desperately needed. We will research both of these because improved eco restoration is so nice. That is like a game, literally a game saver here. All right. Oh, I should have thought more about, do I want range 4 or range 5? We only need range 4 to spread out. Let's do range 4 because we legitimately might want range 6 with a high priority. There's a lot of stuff that's at range 6. So let's do range 4 and then we can see if range 6 is there at the next tier. I usually do not try to research range 6, but we actually might want it in this game because of the situation we're in. Reset avoided. Yeah. Alrighty. Now, the good news is these techs are pretty cheap, so you go back to factory construction. Yeah, we don't need... we can actually just sit here on tech for the moment because we kind of, like, we can now just let population grow to fill up the missing factories. We can build the last 5 when we need them. So right now, yeah, we just need the pop to grow for a little bit and then Earth to send, but I don't want to send right this minute. So, yeah, we can just sit here and let the tech little beakers fill up. Ideally, we'll get both. I mean, we really only need planetology, which is good because it'll pop first. And then we actually grew a couple pop there. All right, yep, the nest is growing. Still, oh, it grew 3 pop. That's nice. Still, there's not much we can do at the moment. All right, let's do one more turn of full tech, and then I'll start building a colony ship. So a very unusual start to this. All right, so yeah, we have 85. Let's send 12 million from here, and then that'll max out the nest. At the cost of course, slowing this planet's development down. All right, dump that in. Scrap this. And by the way, we're gonna have to redesign this for a colony ship that has that has a barren thing on it. Well, we can start building that now. Yeah, hopefully this will pop. We've already got it at 18%, so it should pop any turn now. All right, Earth. Here you go. All right, so the nest, we need 5 factories. Let's do 5 factories. We need to measure out 50 BC. So this will max out the factories. It's at 86 pop. There is 12 million coming. Probably sent, like, I probably should have sent 10 million. Hi, Roadkill, by the way. Probably should have sent 10 and not 12. And there we go. So now we've maxed out the factories. Yeah, I should have probably sent 10 instead of 12, but that's a fairly small issue. All right, so now we're at 13 and 6. Hopefully this will pop this turn. If not, we can still dump a turn of extra spending into it. Yeah, I'm aware I was on basis for a second there, but I did catch it. Thanks for thanks for pointing that out. There we go. Controlled Baron popping right on schedule. And oof, now this is rough. Death spores at tier 2. No terraforming at tier 2. We missed +20. If you let me pull up the Moo tech tree. I wish that it was in game. I do this when playing normally, so I can show everybody what's in the tech tree. This was not a good roll for the second tier. This is like the worst roll possible. So no controlled tundra. Granted, we don't need that. No controlled dead. Granted, we don't need that. But missing +20 would have been... It's actually not that bad because we didn't really need tundra or dead. But having no terraforming is a little rough. That would have been nice. And the other thing that sucks about this, Death Spores is the most expensive tech. So not only do we have to research something useless, we also have to research a very expensive useless tech. And then at the next tier, hopefully we can get +30. or toxic. We'll see. Alrighty. Anyway, back to Moo. So it's very important you click on the right thing. We desperately want improved eco restoration. I don't often research two ships at the two things at the same tier, but I definitely want that here. Okay, so fleet, we're gonna scrap this colony ship because the colony ship. What the heck is going on? Let me get on the correct menu here. Okay, design. So now we need a barren colony base, which is more expensive. The default colony ships actually gets cheaper when we discover that. Now it was 570, now it's 525. But we need barren colony bases, which are more expensive, so that doesn't save us anything at all. So this is colony B for barren, which we desperately need. All right, and now we are not building 56 scouts. We're building a colony, and we can do one in 2 turns. You need to stay on research. And we do have the nest perfectly maxed out at 100, 200. As I said, we slightly went over there, but I still think we did that pretty efficiently. And the only place we can go at the moment is here, because these others are not in range yet. So we'll grab this. We'll just grab these 3 planets. It's the only place we can go. The other thing we do need is we're going to need more scouts, because as soon as we have range 4, we can expand out. So we're going to need some scouts. So Earth, you're going to be tasked with getting us a couple scouts. Let's do 2 per turn. I want to send a couple over here, and then we'll also be able to see what's on this star as soon as we have that discovered. And isn't this range 7 as well? That's range 7. Okay. So, and I'll also want to send 2 of them down here. So we'll build like 4 or so scouts, and then we can go back to pure research. And this is also in the percentages as well. So we still have like 14, 15% odds each turn to discover that. All right. So where do I want these scouts to go first? I think the east is probably well, there's not really anything to scout over here, is there? There's nothing here. Let's send these 2 down this way. I'll send them here, and then they can branch out from there. Actually, I might as well send all 3 because I can just keep a replacement one back there. Yeah, some of these scouts are, let's just send them here. Because like there's nothing over here at the moment. Although I guess when we scout this will be in range once we claim that. But that's a couple more turns down the line. All right, colony B is about to be finished. I'll send, and then I can send like 1 scout here and like 1 scout here. And then we'll be good for the time being. All right, that's a busy turn. We actually built 3 scouts, even though it said we were going to build 2. Ended up building 3. All right, how about 1 of you go here, and then 2 more of you go down here. And that should cover me on scouts for the moment. All right, first things first, the only place this can go, because we don't have range 4 tech, is here. So we'll just grab this spot, even though it's not a great spot. It does expand range. Oh, it will, I believe it brings the rich minimal planet in range. So we can try to get that as well. Let's turn off the scouts for the moment. Actually, you know what? This is actually a good time to do the scouts. I'll build 3 more, send them here, and then they can move out later on. By the way, we still have not popped range 4 tech yet. That's okay, though. All right, that's enough scouts. And, yeah. Always good to have some scouts in forward positions. All right, so we're building our next colony ship, which if we're 2 turns, this should be in range. You know what we should be doing? We should be building a standard colony ship, actually. Whoops, what am I doing? Because we don't need the more expensive colony that's down there. We can build the cheaper standard colony. Oh, that's gonna finish next turn. That's a little too fast. No, that's only 3 parsecs. I can build the standard colony ship, send it here, and then move it forward once our range is extended. Look how fast the Klackons build these colony ships, by the way. 3-turn colony ships. Ridiculous. It's crazy. All right, we're going to need a name for this planet coming up. We've got a lot of planet names coming up. Still have not met anyone else yet, so that does seem like a sign that we're pretty isolated. Please name the planet Lima. Okay, you got it. We have all the scouts we need. This tech is sitting at like a... Remember, the actual odds are double what it shows there. We've had like a 35 to 40% odds for the last few turns. It should pop sooner or later. Now, unfortunately, barren planets do grow at half speed. They're the lowest level of hostile, but they are still hostile. Reserve Earth for the Terran one. Alright, so that definitely extends our range. We also want to send some pop there. So Earth, you're growing very nicely. Continuing to pump it. Yeah, now we're up to 50-50 odds every turn. This is like, alright, we don't need to increase our odds here. This is high enough. That's plenty. Let's see. This is unfortunately it's hostile, so it's not going to grow very fast. We don't want. We're going to have to fill up other planets with pop, so I'm only going to send 8, which is not like a ton, but and that way we won't go into whatever it's called, deficit. We won't go into ugly, whatever it's called, the ugly spending. Oh, all right. So this is still 4 parsecs, but we'll be able to send forward as soon as this pops. But there are definitely planets that are in range now. And oh, look at this. Here comes the scouts in 1 turn away. Look at this. Beautiful. Look at this. Haha. All right. I have 3 more scouts coming next turn. I still didn't build enough scouts because there's a lot of planets that are going to be in range down here. Even those 3 extra scouts are not going to be sufficient. So that's I should have built even more down here. Anyway, well, we'll go ahead and start sending to the ones we can. Send you first, ahead first. And Lima, yeah, you just chill for right now. 1, and then we really need, we're going to need like several more. Oh, well, we'll get them somewhere. See, the problem is I can't build them from the nest because the nest is building colony ships. Earth, get me a couple more. I need more scouts. Also, when is this tech going to pop? Like, seriously. Earth is a fantastic second planet. All right, 3 more scouts. Yeah, we'll send them down here to Lima. All right, so Lima. We sent one ahead to the white planet. So, oh, the red one's, okay, red one's out of range. All right, that's all we have range for at the moment. All right, and then this is still advancing here, and then this we cannot. When is this stupid tech gonna pop? We've been sitting at the range 2 or range 4, waiting for it to pop for ages now. It's not no engines, it's no in combat speed, just to be clear. We kind of need this tech to pop soon because I need to send these ships forward. Oh my god, how is this tech not popped? It's been sitting at 35 to 50% odds for about 8 turns now. This is insane. I literally can't move this at the... You know what we're going to do? We're going to just dump another turn into research. It's very inefficient, but let's get this up to 60%. I literally can't send the ships forward until this pops. This is ridiculous. I literally can't advance. So even though this is going to be a wasted turn. All right, finally, thank you. All right, yeah, let's go to range 6. Very expensive, but range 5, I mean, we have no choice, right? Range 5 doesn't advance the tech tree. Very expensive, but okay, back to building these. All right, now we can actually send some of these ships forward. You can go there to that spot in the nebula. You can go up here. And then we need another colony ship for up here. And that's still all we can grab for right now. This little cluster over here. Over here, this extra scout can go see what's up there, which is, again, 6 parsecs, or 7 parsecs away. Even range 6 won't get us up there, unfortunately. And then we have another scout incoming here, or 2 scouts incoming, which will be able to see what's at these 2 planets. Or one of them, anyway. That one we actually can't go to. Lima has, yeah, that's fine. And then this scout, we can now send something to this planet, but I'm waiting for the backup scouts to get there, so I can do that. Alrighty, back to building one more colony B for up to here, and then we may need to build some defenses for here. This one's now in range. I mean, this is an amazing planet. The problem is it's in a nebula, so you can't, shields don't work in here, so we're gonna have to build a bazillion missile bases in here. Were we forced to research death spores? Well, we will be, but we're researching improved eco restoration right now because that's such an awesome early game tech. And then I'll probably open all the tech fields after that. All right, so one more colony ship, and then after that we'll see, do we need to build some kind of fighters for defense? There might also be something down here, you never know, but these ships, we'll see. This planet here is like the linchpin. This might open up a lot of the center of the map. We'll just have to wait and see when our scouts get down there. So yeah, we have 2 ships en route to colonize right now. And then yeah, as soon as the nest is done, this colony ship, it can go back on research, which will be nice. No AI scouts is a good sign. We seem to be in a very isolated portion of the map, which is good because, as I said, Klackon diplomacy not especially robust. Lima has gotten the population infusion, so it's already building a factory of return, which is not bad, given that we have no improved industrial stuff, and it only has 11 pop. This is the key planet. We need to flood population in here. It's in a point exposed spot. I could go so far as to say if we can hold this, we're in a good position to win the game. If we can't hold this, it's going to get a lot dicier. This just seems like the most important spot on the map from what I can see. So I'm going to... well, what do we say about no scouts? At least the Borathi are not racial enemies. Now, they probably were already here. Okay, that looks like a very nice planet. They probably have a... Okay, there's yet another no star. Now, how far away is this world here? It's 5... it's out of range, unfortunately. Although this might bring it in range. This might bring it in 4 parsec range. That would certainly be nice. Anyway, so we discovered... We built another colony ship. And we're going to need... This planet needs a... We need a good name for this one. So the nest can go back to research for right now, because we are maxed out here. And Earth, you can go back now and build factories. Those are some good ones. Eldorado's Anthill. So where do we think the Borathis are? There's a good chance they're at one of these worlds here. They also could be over here, but they're most likely at one of these 2 yellow stars here. Civ 4 question, why do you bounce the slider between 0 and 100? So that's a great question. You don't bounce the slider between 0 and 100 because it's more efficient. In non-expansion Civ 4, there were no decimals, and you could actually lose some beakers to rounding errors. But in Beyond the Sword Civ 4, it tracks beakers to 1 decimal point. So it's not more efficient to go 0% versus 100%. The main reason why you do it is it gives you more flexibility. I actually had a great example in the game I played last, the one on that horrible tundra map. I was going to research Code of Laws and found my own religion, so I saved gold, and then right when I was about to start researching Code of Laws, which would have taken like 5 turns, another AI actually researched the tech first, and they founded Confucianism. So if I had been doing like slow, steady state research, I would have been like 70% of the way there, and then the first to discover bonus would have been gone. So I would have just wasted all this research and not gotten the whole point of going for it. But because I saved my money for a real fast 100% burn, I could say, oh, the free tech, the religion's not there anymore. And instead, I think I went after like currency instead. So that's the reason why. It gives you flexibility. It also can be like, oh my god, a barbarian's about to attack me. Oh, well, good thing I have this money in the bank. Now I can upgrade my warrior to an axe. It just gives you more flexibility to do it that way. You can change your mind about what you're going to research. You don't commit until you actually do like the 3-turn, 4-turn, 5-turn burn at 100%. So that's the reason why. It's a great question, and that's the main reason why it's strategic flexibility. It's true, AI can extort you for gold, and that's true, but that tends to be pretty rare. That is a downside. As I said to the... Okay, Maclars as well. Okay, so the AIs are definitely down here. We will not get everything in this area, but At the very least, we're chasing off their scouts. So that's good. All right, this is the key planet. As I said, this is the one we wanted. And we had a couple good name suggestions up there. I actually liked Anthill for this one. El Dorado is good too, but I liked Anthill because if we can hold on to the Anthill, we're in a good position. Does this introduce us to anyone? It does not. Very hostile map. What's this? All right, Space Fleet strengths. We are last because we just have a bunch of scouts. Not unusual. Sakura being higher than Mercen's a little interesting. That could mean that they're a major power. Oh, well, we just met Kitty. Not the AI I wanted to meet first. Oh, so it's Kitty who's lined up here. It's not the Bullrathi. Okay. Well, that is not what I would have liked to have seen. At least there's a null planet here that gives us a little breathing room. I think, given that it's Kitty nearby... Oh, and here comes Kitty with colony ship and... God damn it. She's got... the gunboats are armed. This is not a scout. This is an armed fleet coming in here. That's a human ship? Okay. That is a human ship, but they're still going to... That's still a bad sign. Because they will hold position over here, and we're going to have to chase them off. If only we could have gotten here slightly faster. Okay. Well, there's a solution. There is something we have to do here, and that is we have to build some laser fighters and try to chase them off. It's the most important planet on the map, as I said. We are the Klackons. We can build them quickly. But we have to try to chase them off. Unfortunately, they are going to send population. They will get a scout on this planet, and then they will send population to invade. So we're gonna go straight to a lot of action here. That means we're gonna have to send basically the max right away, because the humans will be sending. This is not what I wanted to do, but I don't really have a choice here. Well, game got interesting in a real hurry here. If the alternate to sending, let me just look here. If I were to send a large gunship, how much would that cost? We could put 28 lasers on. Just trying to see like how long would it take to build this ship. Might be better to do this actually, because this is like a. Let me just check this out, because we can do it in 2 turns. That's actually better. And then we have to get it there, unfortunately. That's actually better. You don't get as many guns into the fight, but like that should be able to kill all these little laser ships without any trouble. All right, well, let's give it a shot and see what happens. It is interesting that they didn't even scout the planet, although it's possible that they scouted it before we got there. No, they didn't. It's interesting that they didn't. That they were sending fighter escort immediately like that. AI tends not to do that. Oh wait, I don't have anything on research, do I? Oops. Yeah. Maybe we can get them caught up on the asteroids here. Although I believe they still get a scout on the planet if they do that. Okay, never mind. Okay. Alright, well at least there's a habitable planet up there. At least I can stand that crown jewel up real fast. I mean, if I can get there. If I can get a ship over there. Again, they will be invading here. All right, 7 turns to get there. It's just very, very unfortunate that they decided to send immediately. All right, so Earth can now send a few to this new planet that we just colonized, which will be standing up here at Klendathu. This also now extends range over in this direction. So let's take the scouts from earlier and go see what's over here, which is almost certainly at least one AI homeworld. That's just out of range. Okay. I'll send that down there when my ship's ready to arrive. All right, and what is this, base 40? So that's an 8 million just to get it started. Just unfortunate. This is like the single most important spot, and it's the one that the AI is contesting. And then over here, we had scouts to move forward too. That's still out of range? Okay, I guess it's just here then. And yeah, we need more range to be able to get over there. Okay. All right, I think I'm gonna build another one of these. All right, 5 turns to get down there. It is 6 turns for our colony transports. I'm worried the humans are gonna get there first though. I just don't know where. We should have talked to them. So see, this is the problem. This BS nonsense. The humans signed an early alliance with the Merchants, and that's the only reason that they can probably reach this spot. The good news is they're probably way back here, but that's the only reason that they can reach this spot is they signed a cheese alliance. They don't have the range to get here. They just signed an alliance to get over there. I hate it when that happens. It's just random when the AI signs these alliances too. Just random, unfortunately. Unfortunate. Well, anyway, hopefully we can chase them off with this. It's the hope anyway. We don't need this design right now. Oh, do I still have no... I don't think I have any plans doing research. Oh, no, I do. Thankfully, Earth took a... Ooh. Thankfully, or by the way, we're really close on popping improved eco, which will help us a lot too. Because we're in the percentages there. Yeah, they're still holding this, but I should be able to chase that off with this. All right, 4 turns. Let's send a scout down there as well. And yep, we're sending there. Lima's actually building factories reasonably quickly for this stage of the game. And we'll found another colony next turn. Or if you can stop spending up. I've been messing with your population, so you've been a little off. But, you know, we're up to almost 20% odds to pop that tech, and that's a biggie. Cuts your waste cleanup cost by so much. Now this planet's only 4. All right, we gotta go try to grab this instead of building another ship. Because if we were to lose that planet but get the ocean planet instead, that would be worth it. We got to try to grab this spot. I forgot that was now within 4 parsec range. And I have to send a ship down here to defend it as well, but I went past it, didn't I? I don't think that actually speeds up. Well, actually, I think, yeah, I guess that probably speeds up movement down there by a little bit. And they'll have to send something to defend. I don't know if we can hold this, but we have to at least make the attempt. All right, what's our name for this planet? Colony and then another, yeah. Pants. Best Boreal Boy, that won't fit. We'll save Boreal Boy for if we ever get a Tundra planet. Pants, I don't know why, but Pants works for me. Well, we're the first to 6 planets, which is interesting. You're not often first to 6 planets on it. It must be a hostile map here. All right, same thing. 8 million pop is good to get this one started. And then we'll need to make sure we don't go into waste spending. Also, when is this tech going to pop? Already at 11%. All right, and the nest is about to get that. All right, so we're 3 turns away. Still really, really hoping that we can chase this off. And the inevitable invasion that's following it. Here it is. See, here comes the population incoming. 35. I think they're going to get there before me, unfortunately. It actually matters a lot who the defender is here, because you get that defender's advantage. I just couldn't get there sooner. Well, they're going to get slowed by the nebula. I wonder if I can send from... Lima can send some more. I mean, it actually could make a big difference if Lima sends like 8 million pop here. It actually could make a big difference. Oh no, that's four turns is not going to be fast enough. Yeah, Earth is sending its pop off to so many places. If I had sent the colony ship to Earth at the start of the game, I'd actually be a lot further along in development. And my techs have been taking absolutely forever to pop. Imagine if I hadn't waited so long for range 4 to pop. Also, I have some extra scouts here. I didn't realize I had extra scouts here. Well, that's because these planets are actually in range too. I already have something going there though, don't I? Yeah, I do. It's just, why is the most important planet in my empire the one that's like at the extreme edge of what I can defend? All right, anyway, the nest just built a colony ship, so we'll have it do a ranger, as we said. I can relocate it directly there. All right, there we go. All right, I have to do the stupid death spores now. Okay, there's a tundra that we can't another rich planet, but we can't colonize that. All right, we should definitely try to sign up the Bulrathi to some degree of trade. So the bears are over here. The humans must be in this cluster. They must be pretty weak because there's no way they have a lot of territory. Let's try to dial up the bears through some stuff. I do want the ranger to go the... Well, yeah, I think you're right. All right, form trade agreement. Hand lasers, yes. Yes, hand lasers could be huge. If we get into ground combat, which it looks like we're going to, this could be absolutely huge. If we're the defender and we have hand lasers, we get +10 on our rolls. That could be absolutely huge. All right, we also need to adjust our spending because now we got to pay for the trade. All right, so we were going to send this down there to the south to that other planet. Yeah, so we got to do here. And we got to remember to send this colony ship south next turn. All right, well, it's all about to arrive. I think that this 25 is going to get there first because this has to spend a turn going through the nebula. And if we can chase them off with our gunship, then we'll shoot down at least a couple transports. We'll probably only shoot down like 5, but that would still be a little help. If we have hand lasers and defenders advantage and the extra pop, I think we can hold this spot. I hope. Anyway, let's just check all our planets real quick to make sure they're doing what they should. And then Anthill is what's it called? It's a rich planet, so with Klackons plus rich, we can build defenses super fast. So that's the hope anyway. This is going to be close. Certainly an interesting contest here in the early game. All right, let's see what happens. Anthill doesn't have enough production yet. All right, so this is the Bulrathi homeworld here. I should have scouted to see how many factories they had. They already have 13 missile bases. So Kitty is okay. This is actually a really significant empire ranking. Kitty is first in population, and she has 3 planets. So the AIs are really bad in this game. There might not be anyone in the southwest corner at all. And the humans are below the Mercians. They're below... This is... Yeah. Interesting. This means the AI is struggling pretty badly. Alright. I'm going to temporarily go back onto tech here. And hope that I'm not in a big fight with the humans. That's the hope. Okay. Oh, they left! They left! They left the planet! They pulled their fleet back. Holy cow. They actually pulled their fleet away rather than fight me. Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Now, granted, I think they're going to this planet down here. I would be willing to let them have this spot. Rather than try to fight them. Yeah, I see it's going there. Okay, I cannot afford to move this ranger off though, because I have to try to shoot down some of these incoming colony transports. Have to try that. Okay. You know what I need to do? I need to double the production at Anthill. We need to stand up factories really fast here. So I'm going to do some reserve spending, even though it's inefficient to do so. All right, and we need to, let's actually open all the tech fields right now. This is a good time. Well, no, let's not open them this turn. We'll open them when I can dump a full turn's worth of research into them. And I don't care about planetology at the moment. We'll just put a small amount into planetology. Propulsion, actually, we do care about a lot. Okay, other planets are just building their factories right now. Oh, I should have tried to see if I could trade any techs with Kitty. Yeah, I'll take II-9. A lot of factories, yeah. I'll make that trade. That'll help my worlds get stood up faster. Help them all build their factories 10% faster. Makes a big deal. Yeah, colony ship's already on. I mean, I have nowhere else to send the colony ship. It's already on it. Like, what else would I do with this? Just scrap it? I might as well. If it'll force them to, it would force them to, it might be able to delay them setting up shop there. I don't know. And hopefully I won't have to build more ships at the moment. But yeah, I don't think there's any AIs down here. I think this is a totally unclaimed cluster of the map. I really do. Just based on what I'm seeing here. So we desperately need that extra range so we can start getting down here. And I think there's nobody down here. I think every AI is on the east side of the map. Maybe one of them is down here. Trading improved industrial 9 to the Klackons seems like a dumb idea. Maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, these are... they already have a missile base up here. It's a bit of a shame. Otherwise, I would have been able to scout this. We're last in tech, but that's no surprise. You're always behind in tech. I mostly just didn't want a bad event to take place. All right. Good news is, yeah, look how slow. It takes forever to get through the stupid nebula. They still haven't arrived here yet. So we have almost as much pop as they have. And we should have defender's advantage and hand lasers. That should allow us to hold this. Let's start doing some reserve spending here on the anthill. I typically do not want to grow pop, but I will do so here. It's an inefficient way to spend, but... All right, so for this turn, let's dump tech spending in. This will be we'll use this turn to open all the fields, because we can still reserve spend next turn if we have to. We still have enough money in the reserve that we can do that. I mean, it's good for... well, the thing is, it's good for slowing ships incoming from the east, but shields do not work in nebula, so it actually makes it incredibly difficult to defend, because we're just going to have to build an insane amount of missile bases. Just grow to +3. That's true. Put the rest in factories. Yeah. All right. All other planets, just they should be building factories and growing. Unfortunately, they're all hostile except Earth. And we'll keep that on tech for right now because we're opening all the tech fields. Okay, that seems good. We really need that range 6. Of course, even when we get range 6, our ships are still going to be crawling along at warp 1 speed. So even if we can reach these planets, it'll take forever to get to them. But yeah. And the excess scouts I have should just congregate over here because that's where I'm going to need them long term. So wherever I have extra scouts, and I know I have some extra ones, let's just gather them up over here so that they're in position later on. Do I have any extras up here? No, not at the moment. Although I have some retreating back there. The ones that went to these planets. Yeah, that's fine there. Actually, you know what? Why don't you... Yeah, you can go there. Because I have a scout here, and I think I'd like to scrap the scouts down the road. All right. All right, so we can do Deep Space Scanner or Battle BC2. The initial scanner doesn't really do that much for you. The big advantage of the Deep Space Scanner... This is always a hard choice. I always have difficulty picking between these. The big advantage of Battle Computer 2 is just you get an extra tech level for your factory, for your... missile bases. Extra scanner. I generally like to try to get the... I think I'll take BC2 because the tier 1 scanner just doesn't do that much. We'll try to get the tier 2 scanner when that's available. We have a choice for II. Oh, we actually got to skip the first tech level because we had II9. Apparently, that was the only option to research. We just skipped straight to the second level. We'll just go straight to Duralloy. Look how cheap Duralloy is because we're excellent. Duralloy should cost 4,000. Cost 2,400 instead. It's almost half price. And we don't need II8 because we already have II9. I mean, it's an improvement, don't get me wrong, but we already have, it wouldn't be that big of a boost. So we'll do Duralloy. Never a choice on class 2 deflectors. All right. So because we have hand lasers, we can actually skip ahead to the next tier. The only option, this is a bad roll, the only option is anti-missile rockets. That stinks, but the other options don't advance the tree. And I don't want to research Hyper-Vs. I'd rather just skip a tier and get a better missile at the next tier. If you're curious, weapons is the densest field. So we traded for hand lasers. We obviously had Hyper-Vs in our tech tree as well. Not much point. And we also have Gatling laser in there too. Gatling laser is good if you're going to fight early battles. I'm kind of hoping we're not going to be in early battles here. I'm kind of hoping I can just push the humans away and that'll be that. So let's do the anti-missile rockets. The big advantage is it is the cheapest tech. We missed every one of these other options. And let's hope we can get scatter packs at the next tier. If they're not available, then we'll have to try to get Merculites. If they're both missing, then we have to go back for Hyper-Vs. But I'm really hoping that's not the case. So, where is the actual DOS box? All right, so as I said, anti-missile rockets. And at least they're not that expensive. Alrighty, so yeah, this is still on its way in. We still have not had this pop up yet, amazingly. We'll transfer the rest of our reserve here. And there we go, 5 pop. You do another turn of giving us reserve spending. All right, you're still on that. Let's prioritize the stuff we care about. Out of the stuff that's here, like Duralloy is great, but we don't need it right now. We don't really need millet. The thing we actually need is range 6. Let's give every, unfortunately we're poor in propulsion. Let's give 2 ticks from every field over to that. So like we still want to make progress in the other fields, but range 6 is the only thing we really care about right now. We actually do have most of the good early game text though. We have II9, which is good. We have improved eco restoration, and we have extra range, and we have hand lasers. There's like all the useful early game text to have right there. Anti-missiles are usually not worth the space they take up. Correct. They can be if the enemy is just super heavy on missiles, but normally it's normally you're better to get more speed or ECM instead. But if you're building huge ships, they can be worthwhile. All right, so now our Ranger has arrived here. We'll send it down here. It will not arrive in time. Wait a minute. Where did their... Oh, I think we just can't... I believe we just can't see their colony ship. I think it's just out of range. I think it's outside of where we can see at the moment. They might actually just get here ahead of us, in which case we'll just scrap that colony ship because there's nowhere else to send it. We should be shooting down the incoming invasion this turn. Yeah, here they are. So they're going to colonize this planet. Maybe we can get them to retreat around the asteroid. No, we're just going to die, so we'll retreat. So they will colonize that planet, and we'll now come into contact with the humans, which is probably not the worst thing. Oh, nice. We actually shot down... I only thought we'd get about 5 of them. We actually got 18 of them, so this is an easy hold. We're actually on the right this time. We're normally on the left. And it's a darn good thing that we we shot down a bunch of them and traded for hand lasers because they already have the deflector shield. That was actually even combat because they had +10 from the deflector shield. We got +5 from hand lasers, and then we got 5 for being the defender. So that was even odds battle. That could have been ugly. Could have been very, very ugly. Anyway, now we're in contact with the humans, which again... Okay, this means that they are honorable personality, which is their default. So, in contact, yeah, the humans were over here as well. They obviously have cheese alliances with everybody, because look at how they've spread out in this ridiculous fashion. But, yeah, honorable ecologist. Interesting, they're not normally ecologists, but that's fine. We'll dial them up for some trade, and hopefully we can become friends, because the humans are good friends. And let's see if we can trade. Oh, they don't have anything we can trade for. I don't want to sign them up to a non-aggression pact just yet because there's too many planets that are still being contested on the map. But yeah, this is pretty good. Hopefully they'll get into a conflict with Kitty at some point. And that means that the Sakura and the Mekla one of them is definitely here. It's also possible that both of them are here. Anyway, so we didn't get this planet, so let's just scrap that colony ship. It's not relevant. We don't want to pay maintenance on this colony ship for the amount of time that's going to be necessary. We can, like, by the time that it'll be relevant, by the time we have like range 6 tech, we can just build another colony ship. And we will just pull, yeah, we'll pull this scout back to here. Actually, you can go over to the gathering point over here. And, oh, wait. We can actually, this is now in range. You can go scout that out. And hopefully we can become friends now. Hopefully. Also, as soon as this gets back here, we can scrap this scout design as well. All right, make sure the nest is building the ranger design. Good. Okay. And we are going to have to adjust spending because we just signed a trade agreement. But that could have been so much worse. All right, you now will need to start building factories. And I do, this is such an important spot. I'm going to continue reserve spending here. Like, it's important enough I'm going to continue cranking out those factories. And it's also important enough that Earth is going to send it some more pop as well. Like, I'm going to send another 10 million pop here. I know it takes a while to get down there, but this should get it closer. It's too important of a spot. All right, the nest, you can do research. We have a full enough reserve, and that means Earth, you can go back to building a few factories for yourself. And then all these other planets are just like baking in the oven right now. All right, so next thing is we need to go have enough range to colonize some of these. This is the biggie. This opens up the west to us. Unless there's something at, oh no, this is 7 parsecs as well. Or we'd have to put Duralloy. Researching Duralloy might allow us to put long-range fuel tanks on a hull, but I feel like we just, but then we still wouldn't be able to send normal ships over there. No, I don't have Duralloy. No, Duralloy is a very expensive tech. No, we're still away from that. I think our next goal now is we just go for the range 6. Try to get over to the western portion of the map. If we can hold this and then get some planets over here, we're in decent shape. The fact that this is a rich planet is super duper nice. We have another rich toxic in our core as well. And none of the AIs seem that scary yet in this game. So let's hope that peace prevails. And wait, where's my other military ship? I wish I could recall that. Well, I'll send it to Anthill as soon as I can. Unfortunately, it's already en route to Yarrow. I could attack it, but like I don't want a war with the humans. I want a friend in this galaxy. I'm content with them having that spot. It would be, I mean, I'd rather have this spot, and it does give them a window to keep pushing west, but it also keeps the merchants away. Now, the problem is Kitty is going to be under a lot of pressure to expand, and like there's one obvious target for her to go for it. Like super obvious target for her to go for. I guess we should try to dial her up to trade as well. I don't expect it to last long, but you never know. It's the only way. It's the only reliable way to build relations. It's worth a small hit to our economy to try to improve relations with her. If we can get her to the point where she'd actually be willing to sign a non-aggression pact, I'd be overjoyed. All right, it looks like only one planet has to adjust spending. If you're curious why, the trade actually costs us. So right now our income from planets around 600. We have a minus 90 or minus 87 from from the AI there being there from the trade agreements. They will eventually go positive, but it takes a while. It takes about, I'm not sure how many turns, but it takes quite a few. Anyway, look how fast we can build the factories here. So if you're wondering why am I pulling in pop from elsewhere, well, I wish they got there a little bit faster, but this planet's going to fill up its factory count very, very quickly. That's not the issue. The issue is can we get enough pop? And I think it'll be able to grow up to like 45-ish, and then that'll add like another 10 to help it get over the top. And besides, Earth is good at growing pop anyway. Now Earth can finally go back and max out on its own. It needs a lot of factories too. And then for the meantime, we can just have the homeworld produce research, and it'll take a little while, but in 15 turns or so, we'll start having that stuff filled up. Rohan for the poor fertile planet. That's actually that's a pretty good name. Let's hope that things stay peaceful. I'm like just watching on the map each turn to see. And we're gonna continue feeding Anthill with doubled spending. Unfortunately, we're gonna need an insane amount of missile bases here. This planet can never be fully safe. I mean, I am literally talking like I want like 30 missile bases right now. I'm not exaggerating. This planet has it has no shields in the nebula. It's gonna need them to stay safe. And like this is such a point position world. There's nothing here. Unfortunately, our scanners can't see very far in the distance either. But yeah, we're just kind of well, look at this. Our little tech bars are starting to fill up a little bit. We can do one more turn of reserve spending. By the way, remember we were at minus 87 last turn. Now we're minus 82. It ticks up a little bit every turn, so it gets a little bit better each turn. How many factories do we have here? I'm not exactly sure, but it's growing pretty quickly. All right, that's the copyright protection. Yarrow's very exposed for the other. Yeah, that's another thing I'm not super worried about. Like this is something I can take over down the road if I want to fight with the humans. Oftentimes you don't want to fight with them because they're so popular with the other races. Anyway, you can see they always build a lot of ships early game. You don't want to build a lot of ships early game. I'm actually even in production with the AI this early, which is remarkable on impossible difficulty, and it tells you something about how strong that they are. All right. I don't think we need to keep I don't think we need to keep reserve spending here. We're already building factories faster than the planet can hold them, so we should be good for the time being. How many factories is it building? So we build them for 9 BC. So what is it? 9 times was it about 8 factories per turn? 9 times 8 is 72, and then that gets doubled because we're rich. So it's building about 16 per turn right now. That means it maxes out in about 4 or 5 more turns. And oh, look at this, 4 or 5 more turns. When does the pop get there? So it should max out in 4 or 5 more turns. And then we'll build a bunch of, then we'll build at least 10 to start. And then we can see how many more we need to build after that. So yeah, all our planets are basically just building. They're building factories. And then the homeworld's on tech. That's very standard for this stage of the game. And yeah, let's get that range 6 going and grab some more spots. The copyright production does not function in this version of the game. It no longer is. Yeah, I mean, it was for when the game was on floppy disks to keep you from. That was the copyright protection because the game was on floppy disk. You could just take it over to your friend's house and install it. And then this was to keep you from being able to play the game when it was like that. Anyway, you can see Klackons max out the factories pretty quickly. But I'm not sending pop to Lima. When Lima gets up to 70 factories, it can grow the last couple pop points on its own. Oh, well. That would explain why no ships were there. We found Orion. So wave goodbye to our poor scout. It's right next to this red star next to the purple planet. Bye. No, we are not bombing them. We could destroy the colony, but I don't want to. I'm going to recall that. Sure. I mean, that's basically the same as our current trade agreement, but if they come asking me, that means they want me to sign it up to trade. Anyway, let's recall this ranger, because I don't actually want... I want good relations with the humans here. They don't like it when you're hovering over their worlds. So that'll actually knock our trade a little bit more negative for the time being. But, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, the West is really separate. I don't think there's any AIs down here. I think they're both here. Or maybe the AI is here. It's also possible there's an AI right here or right here. I don't think there's an AI here. We would have seen them by now, but they could be at one of these two. It's a bizarre map. Yeah, this planet's already at 100. Okay, this planet's going to max out on factories this turn, and then we can grow some of the pop because we have another 10 million coming in. Earth is up to 10 factories per turn. That's nice. It's growing nicely. Yeah, we're coming along well. All the planets look like they're doing pretty solid. We should actually go slightly over, but I don't mind overspending here because it'll just go in any extra production just goes in the reserve. All right, and one other thing, the scout, we no longer don't need this anymore. Can scrap that, and we should be fine. No planet should be. Earth, you're not building anything weird, no. All right, how are we doing on tech? We're about halfway there on propulsion, making some progress on everything else too. So far, so good. Yeah, we said that would max out. Okay, so we have 10 million coming in 2 turns. So we'll grow about 5 this turn, and then another 15 next turn, and that should just about max it out. I really hope this is not this. Hopefully, this is going to Yarrow. I believe it is, because this is their homeworld up here. And if you look, I believe they're going to Yarrow, because the humans don't have any planet. Oh, I guess it could be coming from Obaka to Anthill, in which case we're kind of screwed. I'm just hoping that that is not the case. If it looks like it's coming towards me, I will try to get a non-aggression pact, in which case they won't attack me. So let's sure hope that they're not coming for me, because this is their full fleet. I think they're going to Yarrow. I think that's where they're going, but we will know next turn. So let's hope that it's not going to my planet here. All right, this planet's about to max out. Let's see. We need 7 factories, or 6 factories. 6 times 9 is 50. Okay, so it's basically going to max this turn, and then we'll grow a little pop there. We can get a missile base and then grow some pop. And yeah, all right. Well, I mean, I don't know what's on those ship designs, but we obviously can't kill what's ever there. So let's hope that they're not attacking us. We are relaxed relations, so hopefully they're not launching a massive attack at me. They are right northwest of the blue star this turn. All right, no, we are not the target, as I suspected. But you never know for sure. And look at this, 60 million pop. Wasn't it a good idea to send that 10 million? They arrived probably 1 turn later than I would have liked, but still. All right, now you're going to build missile bases, bud. And yeah, you're going to build missile bases for a while, because I need safety. And yes, this is going towards Yarrow. Although apparently they just scrapped some of the designs for whatever reason. Anyway, Lima is also maxed out on its factories. Or no, wait a minute, what? Oh, did I put it on? I forgot to swap it from tech. I put it on tech by accident last turn. Whoops. Oh well, that's fine. These other plants are all still baking away in the ovens. Earth has hit the point where factories are have outstripped population. This is actually nice that force fields is almost done. I always feel a lot better when I hit class 2 deflectors, because if you put 1 missile base with class 2 deflectors up, you can shoot down an infinite number of laser ships. It means the AI has to have something better than the default lasers to hurt your planets. Except, of course, that is not going to work on Anthill, because it's a nebula, which is why I need a billion missile bases here. I also need something better than the default nukes, because nukes are terrible. Which is why I'm hoping we can get the anti-missiles and jump forward to scatter pack Vs before we have to fight anybody. That's the hope anyway. All right, Lima, you need a missile base. We're just gonna actually no, you need to grow your pop first. Technically, it would be better to import pop from another planet, but like at this stage of the game, it's so slow to do that at warp 1 speeds. It's easier just to grow it. Yeah, Anto, you're just gonna build missile bases for some time now. And okay, we got first fields in the percentages. Propulsion's almost there. And like Lima will be able to go on research yet. Now, will Lima produce a lot of research? Not really, but better than nothing. Also, really wish I could get +10 terraforming. It would actually help a lot on some of these planets. Like Lima is a small planet, and then Klendathu and Pants are also small planets. Wouldn't really do that much on the Nest and Earth, but it helps a lot on the smaller worlds for sure. Okay. Earth, how are you on the factories? Okay, you're still a little ways on the factories. And I'll just have you grow your population to max out when you get close. Yeah, Angel's just doing a factory missile base per turn. We'll go to 10 for now and stop there. All right, you apparently just need 2 more. You're apparently going to grow 1 pop naturally, and we can eco-spend the other 2. 7%. A lot of stuff getting close to popping. When a lot of that, and the other thing that's nice is our trade income's also going up too. Not by a lot, but it's going up. And note that the AI still is not colonizing over here. We can see, even if it's in the fog, once we have contact with them, we'll see if a flag pops up. It's like, this is Inferno, so nobody can settle there, and we don't know what's back here because it's too far out of our range right now. But it seems like the AI is struggling to break out into the western half of the map right now. All right, we got Kitty up to neutral. That's good. That's a good sign. Again, I don't want to assign any of them to non-aggression packs just yet because we're still competing on planets. All right, Lima. Now let's build you your 1 missile base. And then after that, you can go on to research. Just basically just waiting on text to pop right now while the other planets develop. All right, you also are now displaying max because your population growth is, you've built enough factories that you don't have enough pop to work all the factories. Here, you only need 30 more factories, and then we'll grow your pop too. Yeah, we're just kind of baking. New planets developing, not much going on, pretty quiet, which is good. We don't want this to be exciting right now. We want things to be quiet. Okay, an Earth maxed out. Okay, so Earth, you now grow the remaining population you need. Lima, you're about to finish your missile base. Anthill, as I said, I want 10 for now. And these Klandathu will be the next one. It only needs 16 more factories, which is not far off. So we almost have that propulsion done. Also, force fields. What the heck? Force fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quiet is good. Yeah, quiet is really good right now. Not getting attacked while our planets are developing. All right, Lima, you built your missile base. That won't be enough to stop a dedicated attack, but it's good enough for now. Earth. Yeah, this will not quite get you there. There's the class 2 deflectors. Yay, we have personal deflector shield. Always nice to be able to make that little jump. All right, Earth does not need any. Earth will grow its missing pop point next turn. So we'll build 1 missile base, and then you can do research as well. I'll also build a missile base on Nest shortly after this. All right, Anthill, still doing your thing. And propulsion's now in the percentages. So let's give this back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do want that to continue. Maybe we'll get lucky and actually pop a tech early. We're last in Space Fleet Strength, no surprise. Meklar, okay, unsurprisingly the Meklar have a big fleet. Alright. Klandathu, okay, now you need to grow your pop as well. You can do that in probably 2 turns. Earth. Maxed out on pop, and now it's about to build its missile base. Anthill, alright, you're about to hit 10. Do you benefit? Yeah, the nebula doesn't affect ground combat, only space battles. Good question. All right, yeah, that's still in the process. And we've got our battle computer. Yeah, there's a pretty stagnant map here. All right, Earth, you got your missile base, so let's have you do this. And Klandathu is, okay, just almost done there. Anthill, you got done this, so how about you feed the reserve for a little bit, just so we have some reserve to spend. You build your missile base on the home world, and hopefully we'll get this propulsion to pop sooner rather than later. I'm not going to doubt our spending. I really need this to pop, so I want to get it up to some higher percentage. Well, not that turn, unfortunately. Pants also now needs to grow its missing pop. Klandathu should be just about done, though. Okay. Do your missile base. Earth, you're done, right? Yep. Nest, you're done. Okay. Actually, Nest, hold on. Let's design. Let's have you build a colony. We'll have to redesign it again because... Wait, no, we won't. Because the range will take effect regardless. Oh, well. We do need to put an actual colony base on it. So Nest, you can build this. And I guess we could start sending this, right? Probably should have built this even sooner, had it ready to go. Oh, what am I talking about? We can't relocate it. There's no colony there. Yeah, this is the one that unlocks everything. This planet here. I probably should have had it. I should have had the colony ship sitting here ready to go the instant that this tech pops. Alright. So this is unfortunate. There's no Robotics 3. That's too bad. That's the one that we're missing. The 3 options at the second tier are ECM2, Robotics 3, VC3. So we'll take the jammer tech, because going Battle Computer 3 is not going to help us. So we'll take this, and then it's a much cheaper tech, and then we'll see what we can get at the next tier. So that's unfortunate. There's no scanner at this tier. The second scanner's at the next tier. All right. We're going to need good jamming this. Yeah, well, that'll help, definitely. All right, so again, bars are still filling up. So we'll build the colony ship this turn. We can send it ideally forward there. And then there's not much more we can do. We will be able to send the scouts forward, though. Remember, I have a bunch of scouts down here ready to go. Right? Don't I? I have some scouts down here. I thought I had more down here, actually. Oh, well. I have 4 scouts. No. I have, what, 4 extra scouts? Oh, yeah, I can scout these 4 planets. That's fine. Actually, I've set this up perfectly. 1, 2, 3, and then this one here goes there for 4. I just can't get to, like, the next tier beyond that, but that might be getting a little excessive anyway. So 11%, again, it's double the odds of what you see here, and it does keep going up each turn. So you might be like, oh, well, like, there's a bug that causes it to be half the display rate. You might be like, well, 22%, those are bad odds. It's like, yes, on any one turn, but like 20% one turn, 22% the next turn, 25% the third turn, 28% the turn after that. If you look at the dice rolls, you're actually pretty likely to hit if you keep rolling it turn after turn after turn after turn. So like even a 20% dice roll, if you roll it 3 times, the odds are you're going to hit one of those 3 times is the way that it works. So it's pretty rare to get it up to like a 40 to 50%. That means you have to be whiffing a lot to get up there. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully we'll pop this tech and I can start sending forward, and that'll hopefully uncork the bottle basically. And then we will be able to fit long-range fuel tanks. This will still be out of range, by the way. But we should be able to fit, when Duralloy finishes, we'll be able to fit long-range fuel tanks on a large hull. It's not worthwhile building a huge hull for that spot. And anyway, we hit it this turn. That's good news. No! Oh man, so the only option to move forward is range 7. That's terrible. I really, really wanted a faster engine. Here's the tech tree. Here's the propulsion tech tree. So we had both options available at the first tier. We took range 4. At the second tier, the only option was range 6. We actually had no other choices. I would have taken it anyway, so that wasn't like, that was actually kind of good luck. But yeah, warp 3 would be really helpful here. We're gonna have to try to trade for something, because crawling along at warp 1 gets really ugly. Better hope that warp 4 is available at the next tier. If we can get warp 4, we'll be okay. I doubt I'm gonna try to fight someone offensively before then. But if we miss warp 4 as well, you are not guaranteed to have these in your tech tree, by the way. One of the fun things about this game. So anyway, range 7, the only option to move the tech tree forward. All right, let's get cracking here. So this colony ship, it's going to take 6 turns to get there. We'll go back to research for now. But the big thing is we can send our scouts forward. So let's find out what the heck is down here. Scouts can now go up to 8 parsecs away. Which, fortunately, we have just enough range to reach most of these. I think this one might still be out of range. Yeah, that one's still out of range. But it will be in range as soon as we colonize that. All right, the nest. If you're curious about designing a colony ship with colony base and the long-range fuel tanks, you can see they're still not in range. We have 381 available space. It costs 470. Duralloy will miniaturize the long-range fuel tanks enough. So let's reallocate our spending. We don't need this in propulsion anymore. So let's see. 1, 2. I took 2 ticks out of every field. I'll put them back now. Propulsion's actually kind of a low priority now that we discovered that. Weapons, actually, I'd say weapons and construction are probably the biggest priority right now. Let's do 1 tick out of each field into construction, because we would like to get Duralloy to unlock the long-range colony ships on a large hull. I realize this is a little silly to do this much micromanaging, but... Okay, so we got our colony ship on the way. Our scouts are on the way. We got a lot of planets doing... Oh, you're still on the reserve. Okay, I don't need you still on the reserve. I just built up a lot of reserve there. That's actually not bad, though. Having plenty of money in the reserve, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, and Pants, you're still building this. You have almost built your missile base, and Pants, you're almost done growing your pop. Okay. All these AIs confined to their corner of shame. It's going to be a while before the colony... Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a while before the council meets. That's true. That's not the worst thing for us, because we're a diplomatically challenged race. But look, we got everybody to relaxed. That's good. Let's see if anyone's willing to trade us a new tech. Probably not trading range 6 unless they give me something really good. Hyper-Vs would not be... They probably want range 6 for this, though. No, I'm not unlocking that yet. If it had been something really good, I would have probably traded it for terraforming, but not for what they were offering. I would really like a terraforming tech. Same offers, basically. Yeah. If I can colonize the stuff that's over there, then maybe. But as I said, for what they have right now, I don't want to give them that extra range. Terraforming plus 10. I'm going to do this deal, but I'll do it in like 10 turns after I've tried to colonize this area. I'll do that deal, but only... I mean, well, do I want to... I'm not sure if I want to give them the... I don't know if I want to give them the extra range. Right now, the only planet they can reach is this one. Kind of like that, but it might still be worthwhile. But 10 terraforming would be really nice to have, so we'll see. All right, you need to get your missile base up. These planets are... not the ones I want in a point position. And yes, I'm still building. As I said, this is not a safe position. I'm still going to keep building here. It would be safe if it wasn't in a nebula, but I really genuinely want to get up to like 30 right now, and I really hope I have the scatter pack. All right. So now we're just kind of waiting. All right. So here's a big. This is pretty. We also might just get better terraforming. It's true. This is a big one. Do we have scatter pack available at the next round? I really hope we do. We don't have them. That sucks. We do have Merculites, which is not bad. We definitely need this tech. But scatter pack would have been better. Scatter pack's really good in a nebula because there's no shields. So we do need this. This is certainly playable, but I would have preferred to have had scatter packs for sure. All right. Clendatha, you got a missile base up. We're just going with the 1 for right now. Also, apparently you were apparently you were misallocating your spending there. Not exactly sure how that happened. It must have been left over from terraforming, and I just didn't update it. And otherwise, we're just teching along. Gonna get the let's just put a half-turn production to a colony so that then we can do the long-range colony ship as soon as construction tech. Oh. Well, that's my second scout. The Guardian has eaten. Gotta remember, that planet has the Guardian. Okay. Ooh, okay. Excellent, excellent. So this will be in range as soon as we colonize. All right, we're unlocking the western edge of the map over here. And a tiny tundra planet down here. Okay. And as soon as we have these two, we can continue scouting down. We're actually going to need some more scouts over there. Oh no, we lost all 59 research points. This would have been disastrous if it had hit like 1 turn sooner. We only just started researching this. That's hilarious. This can be awful. It hit at a perfect time. If that had hit the construction field, I would have lost my entire research into Duralloy. I actually hate the events in this game, by the way. Fortunately, you can turn the events off. Yeah. Okay, so let's turn that off. Now as soon as Duralloy pops, we can reach that. I also should get a couple more scouts. And Lima, you're a good planet to do. I don't need 10 scouts. Let's get like 3 more. And I'll just queue them up and send them down here. That way they'll be ready to go. All right, there's Duralloy. Excellent. This is also trade bait. Okay. Got a couple options here. We could do II7. I think I'm going to do reduced industrial waste 60% though, because I didn't get industrial waste 80%. And we do have II9, although we're getting to the point where I would like to get another improved industrial tech. Here, let me show you this part of the construction tech field. Hold on. It's really, by the way, it is super nice being excellent in construction. It's a very, very important tech field. Okay, so we traded for this. We apparently didn't have this in our tech tree. We traded for this. Then we researched Durloy. So we could get battle suits, which would help us in ground combat, but I think we're fine. We're not doing ground combat. This would, there's no auto repair special, which is a shame. Hopefully we can get that. Considering we're going to be building slow lumbering ships, auto repair would be really useful here. But it's not in our tech tree. And then, so we could get this, which would be an upgrade. Factories would cost 7 BC. But I think we want the reduced industrial waste because there's a good chance we can get II6 at the next tech level. I would pick II6 over Zortrium because we already have Duraloy. So we'll do the 60%. And yeah, it is the most expensive tech, but that should be pretty good. And yeah, I remember we were going to do Rohan for that planet. Thanks again for the reminder. All right, so we got 3 more scouts. Again, you want to build them in advance before you need them because they have to fly all the way down there. Let's send them here. There's nothing at this red planet. No, we'll send you down here. You can start scooting down. We're only 2 turns away from settling Rohan. Meanwhile here, let's design a long-range colony ship, which you can see now we can fit the long-range fuel ships on. Long-range colony. By the way, still, even with the long-range, even with the extra fuel tank, still significantly cheaper than the colony ship at the start of the game, which is 570. So the Nest can build that. Here we go. 1 turn, and we'll ship it off there. I guess I should have technically... Well, I was going to say I should have built it from Earth, but it's about the same distance either way. Oh, I'm on the wrong window. I forgot to set it back. I forgot to set it back. There we go. Sorry about that. I never set it back. And yeah, we should see about trading Durloy to the AI. It's a powerful tech. It does help them, but I actually don't really mind giving this out because I'm not fighting anybody right now. And it doesn't give them an economic advantage. It just helps them in combat. By the way, our trade income has actually flipped over to being positive now. That's good stuff. So like as hostile as this map has been, the fact that the AI is so stunted has meant that it's actually a pretty... It's kind of gone in our favor because the AI has been struggling so much. If there were a strong AI on this map, this would have been ugly, but because the AI is stunted, and because we got this spot, again, this is the most important spot on the map. By controlling this, we kind of shield everything else on the map behind it. Because the AI is so stunted, it actually has not been a tough map at all. Maybe not to Kitty. Maybe we'll see. But she's... I mean, I'm not trading for any of this stuff. I don't need any of this stuff. Let's wait 1 turn. I don't know if we even can offer Duraloy yet. And I would definitely trade Duraloy for +10 terraforming. What's this? Is this Kitty declaring war? Okay. You know, I was going to talk to... Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, Kitty. It's, like, impossible to stay peaceful with them. I'm actually going to go back since I literally just saved it last turn. I'm going to reload and see if I can... I was going to check for a trade with Kitty this turn. I just want to see now if I can trade for +10 before she declares war on me. I can only do it for... Never mind. If it's only for that, then it's not worth it. Oh, I saw it coming too. Why do you think I've never stopped building... Why do you think I've never stopped building missile bases here? I saw it too. There's a reason why I've got 14 missile bases here. Of course I saw Kitty attacking me. I was like, of course I saw it happening. Why do you think I took the time to build all those missile bases? So yeah, anyway. She'll attack. I was not reloading to avoid that. Well, okay. Okay. I was not reloading to avoid that. I literally just wanted to see if I could make that deal. Okay. Well, she'll declare war sooner or later. It's gonna happen. And let's go back to the normal colony ship now. Okay. Sure, I don't want Hyper-V. I still think she's coming after me. Yeah, possibly. I don't actually have Mercs yet, do I? All right, now, by the way, we can now dial down construction spending a bit because it's not a high priority anymore. Still good to have, but it's more like normal priority. Let's put a little more in weapons. I actually think that getting those mercs is probably the most important thing to get right now. What are we researching? Oh, we're still on the stupid death spores, aren't we? Mercs are pretty expensive. It's true. If we get into a war, I can probably trade for those Hyper-Vs. But as long as we're not fighting, I don't see the urgent need to do so. Otherwise, yeah, we just stay on teching for right now. I was really... Oh, hello. We just ran into Mechlars over here. Unfortunately, this is armed. They might have missiles, though. Okay, they don't have missiles. So we'll retreat our scouts out of here. They also would not have... probably would not have gone to this planet unless they had the tech to colonize it. What are they firing? What are they doing here? This is a weird battle. Okay, so they have missiles on that ship. Okay, well. So the Mechlars just showed up out of nowhere. No, the Mechlars are not that big, I don't think. We already said we were going to name this one Rohan, not Roa. This probably brings us into contact with them. Alright, let's see. Okay, well. They indeed just got, what's it called? Controlled Tundra. And then, of course, that's Orion. Okay. They're not big. Now, I do remember the last game where I couldn't... Remember that last Taciturn game where the Mechlar just showed up out of nowhere and annihilated me? Let's hope it's not like that. All right. But the good news is now we can relocate that to here. And now this is in range. And let's see if we can scout out anything that's not... Okay, that's not what I wanted. I love how it just disappeared off the map when I gave that order. Should be able to get it out of here. Here we go. I love that you can't even see them right now. Are these in range? Nope. 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 Not in range. Okay. That's Orion. Okay, so we'll pull you guys back to like here, I guess. All right, so we have this fleet headed off to there. Double expanded, I know. I mean, at the moment, we can't stop their mainline fleet anyway. We might as well take the ships that were over here, and we can move the Rangers. Not that the Rangers are very strong by this point in time, but we can move them over in this direction. Have them slowly crawl their way over there, because Anthill has a lot of stuff to defend itself. All right, we'll build this ship, and then we need to send some pop down here. So Earth, you're going to be the one supplying that pop. It's going to take, you can probably grow about 10 million pop in one turn. And then we'll just send 10, and maybe, it's a poor planet, so maybe we'll just do 10 and 10. Get you started with 20 million. It's not like there's anywhere else I can send from in the area. All right, Mechlars. Let's hope we can dial them up to trade and try to be friends, hopefully. Oh, they have okay, their economy is pretty strong. That's concerning that it's that strong. Plus 10. Ah, we can do plus 10 for something. Here, you can take... Hey, we got plus 10 for anti-missile rockets. That's a good trade. Excellent. Alright, let's wait one turn on the terraforming because I have a couple planets doing different things. Deep space scanner. Ooh. I'm hesitant to give them improved eco because they have so many factories to clean up. I also don't really want to give them Duraloy yet. I'm not sure I want to give them... But the scanner upgrade is helpful here. I don't want to give them any... I don't really want to give them any of this. I guess I'll give them this. It will help their economy. But it is only an early tier tech. Alright. I'll take it. Even though they definitely got stronger as well there. Anyway, look, we're all the way up to amiable with the humans. We might be able to... I don't think there's really any planets we're competing with the humans on right now. By the way, that might be... There might be something we could colonize over there, too. But we don't have the range to get over there right now. Or down here in the deep south. I wish we had enough range to get here, but we don't. Even the scouts, maybe the scouts can reach here after we colonize this planet. You never know. It's always helpful to have a planet deep in enemy space. But let's sign like humans to a non-aggression pact. I think they'd be willing to. Always good to have a friend. Alright, goodbye. Yeah, a lot of like low tier hostile planets. Alright, so we do have to adjust our spending because we just signed a pretty big trade agreement. Let's hope that that can mature and be on good terms. Alright, we'll do the terraforming on this upcoming turn, which I think we have to wait a turn anyway. Alright. Because didn't we have that issue where the if you trade for a tech, it doesn't pop up until the next turn? It like takes one turn. All right, so let's do our terraforming. It only costs 50 BC to terraform, which is quite cheap. We can do this on pretty much every planet right now. We need one of them to stay on research. All right, you need 50 BC, so this early in the game, I will definitely do all the terraforming manually. How about Lima? How about you stay on research just so we don't lose our investment? 3 empty stars by the humans. Good point. Yep. That has to be the Sakura. Yep. Unless they're down here, which they probably aren't. That's probably the Sakura. Probably. Good call. That is probably them. So this terraforming will definitely help our smaller worlds. And then hopefully we can try to get some kind of improved robotics somewhere. Again, you can see how the diplomatic aspects of the game like make it significantly easier. If you're not working the diplomatic channels, you are not taking full advantage of this game. All right. And you are brand new, so okay. Alrighty. Now we might be able to take the techs we just picked up and trade them for more goodies. Hyper-Vs. I'll hold off unless I actually get into combat. That trade will still be there if I need it later on. Yeah, Sakura tend to have a lot of population, so that can be an issue. Oops. And I wanted to see the overall status. So it looks like the Bulrathi have the most pop at the moment. We still have not unlocked the council yet. They're allied. Okay, they have 2 alliances. Sakura allied with multiple AIs. They're allied with Kitty. That's annoying. The Meklar appear to be isolated because they don't have a relationship with anyone right now. This is probably Kitty declaring war. Oh no, the council finally met. Alright, we are nominated against the Bulrathis. That's a little concerning that they have some alliances. I don't think they have enough pop to win, though. Okay, Kitty abstains. I'm hoping I can cast my vote for the Bulrathi. They have 4 votes. Okay, that's nowhere close. All right, humans abstain. Okay, Bulrathi and humans having the same number of votes is annoying because either one could be nominated. All right, I should be able to cast my vote for them. That's good news. 11 out of 20 is not a winning vote, so that's good. Oh, the map generator doesn't put AI homeworlds on the edge of the map, so the Sakura have to be over there. Interesting. I think I had heard that before. Okay, so the Sakura have to be... Okay, because the AI homeworlds can't be right on the edge of the map. Good call. I think I had heard that somewhere, but I like only just remembered it when you said that. That's a good point. Okay. So all the planets should have terraformed. So I mean, that helps. It's like that's like half of a council vote. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because we have, because we have 6 planets right now, so that's 60 million more pop. That's half a council vote. And the Bulrathi will like that we just voted for them. So let's see if we can get a non-aggression pact with them too. We might as well. I'll probably upgrade my trade agreement with them relatively soon too. No reason to be in a... I mean, we're just biding our time here. The obvious race for us to fight is Kitty, because everybody hates the cats, and like they're right here. But we need to finish colonizing our corner of the map first. And like we have Warp 1 engines. We are not in a position to be fighting people. Also, apparently we're going to... We only need 3 more factories here, so we can easily max this out, and then I'll just eco spend to fill this back up again with pop. Yeah. All right, so Nest should be fully maxed out. That means Lima can go back to building its factories, which is going to take longer here because we have a little research trickling in over at the Nest. All right, same thing here. How many more factories do you need? 4. I think you can handle that. And then you just max out in pop. You'll also max out. How many more factories do you need? 3? Is that right? Wait, you're mono 5, so yeah, you're 210. You only need 3 factories as well, so you're also going to max out easily. So we'll put the rest in the pop growth. Math is hard, right? No. Now you guys, these smaller planets are going to need, yeah, you need 16 factories, so you're going to need at least a turn of building more full factories. The little planets need more help, but conversely, the terraforming also helped them out. And Rohan, you're brand new. You have pop transports very, very slowly coming in, and then this colony ship. Okay, so that covers everyone. And then you, all right, we're gonna, so we should grab, we're guaranteed to get that planet, and then this one, hopefully, we will hold. There's no Klackon, there's no Meklar ships here. We can see now that we have the upgraded scanner. We can see a little bit further away. We still can't see where ships are going, but we can at least see the distances. Yeah, there's the Kitty fleet. I don't know what's on that fleet. I probably should try to send a ship down there with a scanner on it just to see what's on them. And see if we need to be concerned. All right, we're going to get a lot of planets maxed out messages. All right, so yeah, the Nest is maxed out. That ship is not ready to be relocated yet. Okay, maxed out. Lima needs 11 more factories, so that'll take another turn. All right, Anthill just needs 2 million pop. And as you can see, I am still building the factories, or the missile bases, because I do not trust those Martians one bit, and this is the planet that is almost certain to get attacked. All right, you're maxed out. I'm going to have you send pop down there in just a second. How about you? You need 6 factories. I think you can handle that. Yeah, 6 times 9 is 54, so this should max you out on factories. I love math. You are probably a similar, yeah, literally exactly the same thing. So this will max you out. Oh my God, I'm miscounting this. All right. That's what you need to max out factories. And then that gets you more pop. All right, and all right, so Earth. Send some more pop down here, Rohan. Can you do 13 million? I don't think so. I don't believe you can do that. So let's do 11. I'm confident you can do 11 and regrow that. And we'll send like for 2 more turns, because I can send to Rohan, and then Rohan can send forward to this planet. No, I still build factories on poor planets. There are kind of 2 schools of thought on this. Some people say just never build factories on poor planets. I actually disagree. It takes a long time, but I don't like planets that can't defend themselves. I really dislike planets that can never defend themselves. So I will take the time to build factories on poor worlds. Even you can argue it's a waste, but I like that planet can get attacked. I want the planet to be able to build missile bases and defend itself. If you never build any factories, it can never defend itself. I am a little paranoid about being able to defend, but you could make the argument of like, look, I just don't care. This planet, if it gets run over, it gets run over. I'd rather have it just spend all that on research. And like, that's a perfectly valid argument to make. It's just not the way I tend to see things. So, yeah. It should, and then it can supply other stuff with population. Anyway, so we're going to be grabbing this corner planet. So we'll need a name for that in 2 turns. And then we send this colony ship forward in 2 turns as well. That's convenient. I send it forward when that planet gets colonized. That makes it easier to remember. Okay. So you did 11 million last turn. You should be able to do 11 million this turn again. And then that'll help that planet get started. And then we'll start. I think I'll do this turn, and then I'll send next turn, and then we'll send like another. We'll send like 11 million over there, and then we can stop sending. Meanwhile, tech, we don't have. Oh yeah, we're still having a lot of planets like build stuff, so we're not quite there on tech yet. Oh, and Lima needs one more factory. I think we can build one more factory there. There we go. And meanwhile, Anthill is at 19 bases, and I would like some more, please. I will need to upgrade my missile tech, though, because currently they would be firing nukes, and those things are basically garbage. I will feel much safer when those missile bases are firing mercs. All right, so yeah, you're good. Pants and Klendathu now are maxed out. Dumping the... Yeah, now that research looks a bit better. So now our research is coming along a little bit better. When we discover the jammer tech, I think I'll turn on the... Just see what they've got spying. Oh, and we'll finally be able to get maybe a planetology tech. We're almost done researching the horrible death spores. That was just a complete whiff on a tech. It does nothing for us. But mercs are key. The deflector shield doesn't do anything, but that we have the planetary shield potentially behind that, which would be key. This would be a great tech, but it's very expensive, so we're nowhere close there. The jammer doesn't do anything for us right away either. And yeah, so next turn we can go for it. All right, how much pop do we have going here? We have 10, 11. Okay, we have 32 million pop. That's probably plenty. I don't think I have to send more. Or if you can sit on research for this turn, that's fine. And yeah, the races seem to like us. Look at this Diplo screen. I did not intend... Oh, anyway, I did not intend to undo a declaration of war. I just literally was trying to trade a tech with them. All right, Hyper-Vs. No, I'm not making that deal. No. I think people said I hadn't checked in on tech with the humans in a little bit, so let's see. They also have the Hyper-Vs. I'll trade them. Oh, I'll pick up Hyper-Vs for anti-missile rockets. I don't care about sending them that. Okay. So that means if we would get in an early scrape, we at least have something better than nukes. And let's see if we can upgrade our trade agreement with them. Don't worry, they'll declare war again soon enough. Yeah, I know, right? Nice early game. Of course, the only one of these that's a racial enemy is the Mercians. I will not upgrade my trade agreement with them. That's not worthwhile because they're going to declare war sooner or later. We note that we're still in the negative on trade, but it's not too bad. We will have to tick up spending, though. All right, this next turn's a big turn. We're going to colonize a planet and then be in position to go colonize another one. Yeah, Anhale's still building these. Now we'll have Hyper-Vs at least, which are a little bit better. All right, what was the name that we wanted for this one? Yeah, my useless weapon tech for something good. I mean, every tech doesn't help with miniaturization as well. So that's Point Nemo. Point Nemo is pretty good. That's the most isolated spot on Earth. It's in the Southeast Pacific. That's a good name. We have just enough room for it, too. Now, there are some ships buzzing around over here. So again, Rohan is basically undefended at the moment, but I mean, like we couldn't stop this anyway. Whatever's on these Ajax ships. So to some extent, it's like if you can't stop it anyway, it's not worth investing heavily against a threat you can't stop anyway. And like I have reasonably good relations with these guys. As soon as I colonize this, I'll try to get the non-aggression pact with them. As soon as relations tick up with them to relaxed, I'll try to get the non-aggression pact with them too. They're still allied with the Sakra. Yeah, I mean, if Kitty declares war, I will absolutely organize a coalition against her. All right. As I said, we can do obviously can do 11 million, so we'll send that, and that'll be enough to get you started. And I don't want to send more than that to a little world like that anyway. Rohan's going to get a whole bunch of pop coming in, and then it can send some of it on to this next planet to help it get started. The first batch is about to arrive. And is a large, fertile planet. Its main goal is just to grow lots of population. So again, we're still just kind of chilling for right now. We're not really in a position to fight somebody. We're just kind of hoping that the AI is going to leave us alone. We have good relations with most of the AIs. The Mercians will be the ones most likely to come after us. The Meklar also concern me because they're the Meklar. They're always a scary opponent. They're going to be a problem long term. I can already tell that. They're gonna be a problem, but it is what it is. So, yeah. I think we're in good shape, though. All things considered, it could be a lot worse. Earth refills its pop bar, as expected. All right. So Rohan, yeah, it's, as I said, it gets its first pop infusion next turn. Obviously, we can't terraform here next. I don't know where this is going. It looks like it's probably heading here. 23 larges, as I said, I can't deal with that. So there's a good chance they're just going for this spot Buddhist. There's a good chance they're going to take that spot, which is not what I want. But no, the Rangers are still crawling their way across the galaxy. They won't, 6 turns away still. Very, very slow. Again, this is at the like outer extreme edge of my range, so it's a little hard for me to do stuff from here. They have colony ships coming in behind. They have colony ships down here. What I would have to hope is they come in, scout the world, then leave, and I'd be able to stop the colony ships. Although there is one thing I can do. If I can get down here and colonize this first, I could then try to sign a non-aggression pact with them, because I think I beat them here to the punch. I could try to sign a non-aggression pact, and then they should back off on attacking me. Yeah, we're up to 23 missile bases there. Again, I said I wanted 30. And then after that, I probably want to get up to 50, but for the moment, we're okay. I'm certainly not going to trade someone the terrible Death Spores either, but I might trade someone Deflector Shield. And, as I said, I also want to start turning on the spying and see what they've got, but I wanted an additional tech level there first. Here's where we wish we had better engines, agreed. Oh, wait, no, actually, I don't think they're going for me. Because this is headed in this direction. It's actually going to Rigel. That's where I wish I had the upgraded scanner. So I don't think I'm the target here. But I would happily sign a non-aggression pact the minute I have this. Because where else am I going to expand to? There's nowhere else in range. Just get NAPs with everybody. Next council vote's still a ways away. I don't think we're in any real danger of losing a council vote right now. Our trade is almost ticked back up to positive. We have a lot in the reserve if we need to do emergency spending somewhere. We got a lot of text ready to pop here. So I'd say we're looking pretty solid. Rule is only 1 movement speed in combat. So yeah, Rohan has got another 22 million pop incoming. As I said, we can send some forward there. I might do some reserve spending on this planet here because it's another point world. But I don't want to do that if it looks like... All right, we need a name for this planet. Oh, can I reach the red stars? That's a good question. We can send our scouts forward to see if there's anything down there. We should definitely check it out. Buddhists. People like Buddhists for this one, so we'll just keep the name. People like Buddhists. Hey, we're still last intact. Get used to it on impossible, but yeah, get used to it. This is impossible difficulty. Get used to being last intact. But yeah, we seem like this is not headed towards us. This is going down here. We seem like the AI is kind of leaving us alone. So yeah, all right. So this is a poor planet. It's got pop incoming to replace what we're sending away. So we'll send that. I'll probably send even more once this arrives here. I'll do some reserve spending at Buddhist if it doesn't look like it's going to get targeted. Let's see if we can get the NAP with these guys. Not interested. That's a bad sign. Definitely not trading that. All right, that's a bad sign, but it was worth a shot. We'll see. We can always try again a little bit later on. And yeah. Coming along, we're like a third of the way now to Mercs. I'll feel a lot safer when we have them. The hope, of course, is that Planetary Shield 5 is behind this Deflector Shield in terms of tech, so that's what we're hoping. Anthill is almost up to my self-imposed goal of 30 missile bases as the most likely place to get attacked. And we have pop transports still crawling into these spots. It's like the game heard that my variant was slow Klackons and was like, let's give you no warp let's give you no faster engines this game. Oh, I have to... Dang it. I forgot to increase the spending. We ended up with a little waste here. See, it lowered the max size of the planet. We'll just do 1 turn of max spending. That should clean up the waste. But you can see it lowered the size of the planet for that reason. It's because I sent away half the planet's pop and I didn't adjust the spending setting. That can happen. Well, we should pop some of this stuff soonish. Computers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll dial that back after it pops. Yeah, the nebula is very annoying. All right, Antil's about to hit 30 bases. I will stop there. They actually are costing me a decent amount. They're costing me 10% of my economy, which is annoying. But I'm actually about to start getting some non-trivial trade income. All right, so Rohan just got that. I'm going to send another like 12 million here because I don't really like. This is a poor planet. It doesn't really matter. It'll grow, and it's fertile anyway, so it'll grow pop relatively quickly. So we've got 12, and I've got another 12. So that'll take this to half, and I'll do some reserve spending to get it stood up faster. Yeah, there's the Rangers coming in. Not that the Rangers can stop what the Mechlars are flying around with here, but you never know. I should try to get a scan on what's on that design, but unfortunately this is a long way away from my production center, so it's a little tricky. Yeah, these ships are just flying around. They have a new design there too. All right, Buddhist. Now finally we can start using this nice reserve that we built up earlier in the game. We can double our production, and being Klackons, we can stand up the planet pretty quickly. All right, Rohan. I wasn't planning on terraforming you this early, but you're close enough. You might as well finish the terraforming, I guess. And Point Nemo. Point Nemo doesn't need reserve spending because this is way in the back lines and it's not threatened at all. So we don't need to reserve spend there. Anthill. You got the 30 bases. Congratulations. Take a bow. You can now do some research spending if you have to. That is not concerning. Anthill's defenses easily can stop that. All right. We still have not had these techs pop yet, so hopefully some of these will soon. Oh, the scouts. I forgot. Dang it, I forgot to send the scouts. Okay. All right, big question. Is Planetary Shield 5 behind here? No! Any game you don't have the Planetary Shield is a huge... it's so much harder when you don't have that. Ugh. It's okay. Always a chance to trade for it or something. That's still a little unfortunate. We're also not hitting on these tech rolls very well. All right, let's send these scouts forward. I should have done that immediately on colonizing this planet, because these are in range, and there's a decent chance there's just a hostile planet down here. Always handy to know if there's like a radiated planet deep in enemy space that you might want to colonize later. That green star down there might be colonizable too. You never know. Always good to get the info. Oh, that's out of range. Okay, so that we can't get to. Anyway, okay. Well, is what it is. As I said, we're hopefully maybe we can trade or steal for that tech then. Anyway, well, we'll just reserve spend at Buddhist to get it ready. All right, and you, Rohan, you do not need any eco spending here. You need to start building some factories. At least we're Klackons, and we're going to grow pop really fast here because it's a fertile planet. So we'll grow pop really fast, and as the Klackons, we do get that extra production, so that's nice. I'm not going to reserve spend here, as I said. It's not worth it because there's no urgency there. All right. Could use some more terraforming. Could use some more. Could use improved robotics. We only have +10 and no improved robotics. This has been sitting. This computer tech has been sitting here for ages, and hopefully the planetology will pop soon too. Races. What was I looking for? I was hoping that my trade would tick up with these guys to the point where I could sign a non-aggression pact. All right, what is going on here? Oh, I have scouts over one of their planets. Whoops. I don't think that's what I intended to do. Oh, I sent these earlier, but when this was still uncolonized. That's right. Okay. That's Orion. Let's move these scouts here over this planet. All right, Buddhists. This will be a good time to terraform, I think, because you're already at half. Oh, this is no good. We need to cover the waste spending at least. All right. So this will terraform the planet. Okay. Rohan, you've already terraformed. Point Nemo, you need rather wait until I can do it in 1 turn or 2. I guess I could technically do it in 2 turns right now, but let's get the factories going. All right. We still have not discovered this tech yet. At least we've almost gotten mercs. We still have not discovered this tech. These techs just don't want to pop. At least they're not critical or anything, but like, what the heck? Sometimes they just don't want to pop. They've just been sitting there for ages not wanting to pop for whatever reason. Anyway, Buddhist is now terraformed. With reserve spending, it can already do 10 factories a turn. Excellent. And again, the AI seems to be leaving us alone, so that's good. Just kind of chilling here. I know, right? One thing that's unfortunate is it's hard to know if the Bulrathi or the humans will be our opponent in the council. We should upgrade our trade agreement with the Bulrathi because it's been a while. While we're here. All right, yeah. Sure. You can have anti-missile rockets. I don't really care if they put this on their ships. Extra computer tech's always nice. Helps with, helps with, what's it called? Helps with tech steals. I mean, we didn't really need that, but now, of course, we have to adjust our spending. All right, I think we got everybody. Okay. Yep, still coming along. I was waiting to initiate steal. I was waiting for my computer tech level to bump up. I just didn't expect that this was going to take forever. And of course, it doesn't pop again. All right, what do we have here? All right, well, we only have 1 option, but terraforming plus 30 is a good one. That's fine. What were our other options? I'm not going to put it on screen. I'm just going to look at it real quick. Other options were, we could have had a higher habitability. We could have gotten controlled inferno, controlled toxic. Hopefully controlled radiated's at the next tier, and we can just take controlled radiated. Because if we only have controlled barren, that's going to be really awkward. We have not been offered anything past controlled barren, so I guess it's a darn good thing we had controlled barren offered. That would have been really awkward otherwise. Yeah, it's still has not popped yet. At least I dialed down the spending, so I didn't waste more spending there. Anyway, so we have some decent econ tech still coming in soon. Our trade income went back to neutral, so that's good. And we still don't have contact with the soccer yet either. I mean, we're just kind of like just relaxing here. The AI is leaving us alone, which is nice. Get down the tech tree a little bit. We need time for these planets over here to build up anyway. Point Nemo is... you know what? I'll give Point Nemo a little reserve spending for 1 turn just so I can terraform it in 1 turn, and then I don't have to come back here. All right, this will let it terraform in 1 turn. Just got to remember to check this next turn so I don't end up overspending on econ. Yeah, really hope controlled radiated's there at the next tier. When is this tech going to pop? Now it's literally up to 48% odds to pop. All right, finally, this stupid jammer tech. All right, hey, the improved space scanner's there at the next tier. That's good. We definitely want this. This lets us see where the AI ships are going. We get some warning if we're going to get attacked. And then we do need to get a better battle computer. So I'm actually kind of glad we got BC2 because I skipped BC3 and I'm going to skip BC4. So that's pretty nice. All right. Let's start doing, see what they've got spying. I'm most concerned about the Meklar, so I'll start checking with them first. And now that means we have to make sure we're not doing the waste spending again. I want to know what techs they have. This will also help me make more intelligent trade decisions too. I hope I'm not getting attacked here at Buddhist. I'm not exactly sure where this is going. I believe it's going from Paulus to Rigel. Yeah, this is just going to Rigel. I've seen that sign before. Yeah, we're building up the factors pretty quickly here at Buddhist, so that's a good sign. All right, you no longer need mass spending on econ because we did your terraforming. We have a number of small planets, a lot of like 30 to 45s, and then we have like a couple of gigantic planets overall. Okay. All right. One, two, no. Okay, that's, I was trying to do a set number of clicks there. Can probably dial down our weapon spending a little bit. What do I need the most next? Probably a little more in planetology would probably not be amiss. And we've been crawling along on propulsion for ages at this terrible range 7 tech that we don't even want. The 60, yeah, the size, the base 60 rich planet is fantastic. Problem is, I've had, it's in the stupid nebula is just the one problem. Mercs is definitely nice. All right, good. We are not getting attacked there. Those ships are going away from us, as I thought. I got to keep checking for when we get our spying report here. We have a. I think I'm going to play until this council vote, and then that'll be a good stopping point for today. I still don't know if the Bullrathi or the humans are going to be my opponents. The humans have a lot of alliances, so that's a little concerning. If they're the opponent, you don't like seeing that the AI is going to have that many votes in their favor. We'll see if we get closer to the council vote, but I'm always concerned if the humans are your opponent because they get the huge Diplo advantage with everybody. Also, now that we have this, we probably need to refill the reserve a little bit. So I'll put the yeah, we're already up to 55 pop here. That's nice. Again, we're growing like 5 pop a turn here. This planet is worth a full council vote on its own because it's a size 100 planet. Ant Hill needs to feed the reserve a bit because we've spent the reserve down. I want to make sure I have enough if needed for like an emergency. But yeah, let's see. Still seeming like we're pretty calm position. What is it this time? Pirates in the Earth system. Oh my god. This will hurt your trade route income. All right. Unfortunately, we do need to deal with this. You have to build a fleet and send them here. Great. So what weapons do we even have? We don't have any weapons. We literally don't have any weapons. Let's let the Merc... When the Mercs come in, I'll build some missile boats. Because they could have some value. That's annoying. I'll let the Mercs come in and do some missile boats. And then I can just have them... They'll clean up the pirates eventually. Alright, anyway. Did we get a spy? We did get a spy on these guys. Alright. Let's see. So they have Robotics 3. That could be a trade target eventually. They have controlled radiated, so they can colonize anything. Good news is their weapons are pretty much garbage. They have Hyper X. So the Gatling lasers can't hurt us. And they just have Hyper X rockets. So if we had a planetary shield, we could block all that damage. We don't have a planetary shield, unfortunately. But they're not, weapon-wise, they're not scary yet. They have very good computer tech, as they normally do. So that's good. Next up, let's get the Bullrathi. What do we have that they might actually want? Construction tech is what they would want. Unfortunately, the AI does not like to trade robotics controls. That would be the one I would most want to get. Okay. The only thing they're willing to trade is the Gatling laser right now. Okay. So yeah, when this comes in, we'll design a ship and clean up the pirates. If you just leave it and don't deal with it, it will keep hurting trade. All right, I wasn't expecting this one to pop. This one just hit 2%. But sometimes you do get an early pop, and reduced industrial waste 60% is great. That'll hurt. Oh, we actually hit both on the same turn. Okay, well, that's nice. All right. I had said before, this is the... So construction is at least not letting me down. I said before I was hoping that we would have II6 at the next tech level. It's there. This will be a really nice jump from 9 BC per factory to 6 BC. That cuts the cost by 50%. We'll definitely take this. All right. Now at the next tier, we just picked up a missile tech, so we don't think we want stingers. Fusion beam's a great pickup here. Unfortunately, there's no bombs available, so we still don't have a bomb, but the fusion beam's nice. You can do the short range or the long range versions. The long range version, if the enemy has weak shielding, you can actually use it to fire past shields. If an enemy ship missile base is like not well defended. Graviton beam is not. This is good if their enemy has a lot of small ships. because it continues over from one ship to the other. But most of the AI, like there's no Alkari in this galaxy, so Fusion Beam is pretty clearly better in this setup. I always like the Fusion Beam. One of my favorite guns in the game. All right, so let's design. And having just hit in construction, we also get more hull space here. I believe the only thing it cares about is the weaponry in terms of this pirate event. So I'm not going to put anything else on this. I'm just going to put Merc. And we'll build some of these missile boats. Do these have much value? Not real. Well, if I'm ever... Actually, never mind. If I'm ever going to use these, we probably should build a ship that we might actually want at some point in time. We can actually scrap these designs as well. So, all right. You actually do want to put an upgraded computer on here. And we still can fit 2 Mercs on here as well. No faster engines. Oh, we could... well, for a missile boat, duralloy armor is not that important. All right. Merc boat. Let's build at least a few of these. And the nest is going to build some scouts if I don't assign it to something else. So I don't really want a lot of these, but let's at least build like a decent number. Maybe like, I don't know, 30 or so. And then hopefully that'll be enough to clean up the pirates. That's the hope anyway. All right. Look at that, pirates. Because it does obviously hurt our tech when we start pulling planets off that. All right, Buddhist. Sadly, these things are still warp 1, so they can't get anywhere fast. But something that's really nice is that look at our waste costs. They're like non-existent here. That's really nice. Our waste costs are like non-existent. What is the use case for missile boats? They're good for hit and run. You can pop into a system, like fire off your missiles and then retreat and then do it again. So they're good for hit and run action. What they're not good for is like actually standing and defending a planet. But if you want to, they're good for harassing, basically. They're very good for harassing the enemy. But they can't stay in a fight, because once they fire their missiles, they're done. And then these planets should all be... Yeah, like, look at our waste cleanup costs are so little. We get to spend almost all of our income without having to burn it on waste cleanup, which is super nice. All right. I just replenished the... Because I'm... what's it called? Because I'm building ships, I'll put this planet on research. And yeah, our research rate definitely goes down. Did I get a report on the bears yet? No. I really wish I knew which one of these I'm going to be up against in the council. I really wish I knew. But the AI is leaving us alone, which is good. Did we get a report on these guys yet? All right, we got a report on them. Okay. So the bears... Not very good computer tech. If we had to steal from them, we probably could. They do not have a planetary shield, so they missed out on that. They missed out on improved robotics 3 as well. They have warp 2 engines and range 5. So we could train them range 6, and it wouldn't really matter that much, because they already have range 5. Probably wouldn't do that much for them. And in terms of weaponry, they have the neutron pellet gun, which could get through our shielding. Although it wouldn't do much. Once we get the class 4 shield, we're mostly blocked. And then they have Hyper-Vs. Not terribly scary, I have to say. Not too scary. And we'll try to get the humans next. Let me just see. I'm going to screenshot this real quick and then see if there's anything I can trade range 6 for. I think range 6 is like the only thing I have that they would want. And now that I see that they have range 5, I'm not too concerned about trading them range 6, because we know the soccer are there. I mean, like, where would they go? There's no planet here. Would that allow them to target? The only thing would be, is that enough to target those planets? Because if I would prefer that they be out of range. I think that range 6 is still not enough for them to reach there. It looks like it's just... Yeah, range 6 it would just barely reach this planet. So maybe I don't want to trade that. I think that it would be 6 parsecs to here. Because right now I think they can reach Anthill. I don't think they can reach this planet. I think it's still out of range. Still, let's see if... by the way, it's Alt-M is the command to turn on the grid if you're curious. It's a 5 parsec grid. This is 5 parsecs here. Just so you can measure things out. Let's at least see what they offer. If there's something I really want, I'd be willing to trade that. We also have good relationship. Like, I don't think they're planning to declare war. All right. Oh, they're trading nuclear engines for mercs. Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Well, no, they have Hyper X. Mercs doesn't even do that much for them. Yeah. They already have Hyper X. Mercs doesn't even do that much for them. Oh, wow. That's a biggie. Because our ships were terrible. Our ships were awful. So I am going to scrap that design I just built. And also trade these. But I already have better in both these categories, so maybe for a jam. Maybe for a jammer attack, but I'll pass for now. That was totally worth. That was totally worth it. Now, of course, it makes it harder to attack their worlds, but by the time I'm ready to attack the bears, which is nowhere soon, those missiles will be not really a big deal. Meanwhile, all right, so we only built one round of this ship. Let's just scrap that and and let's put the faster engines on them. Oh, we can't fit the okay. Well, unfortunately, that means we have to. We might as well put the Duralloy on if that's going to happen. Now, I would normally give them extra movement in combat, but I can't do that. So, yeah, we actually have a lot of unused space here, which is unfortunate, but Warp 2 as opposed to Warp 1. Warp 1 ships are just garbage. They can't fly anywhere, so. This ship actually might be able to do something now. Oh, wait, no, I need it to be in Smirk Boat 2 because it has 2 movement. This ship is actually not total garbage now. Like, I'll use them to get rid of the pirates, but I might actually be able to use them in combat. That other design was never going to do anything outside of outside of just pirate cleanup. So that was a really impactful trade. We are slowpokes. These ships still have 1 movement in combat. It's not warp 1 it's not warp 1. It's 1 movement in combat. See? Speed 1 right there. I am not playing a game where every single ship crawls at warp 1 for the entire game. That's just a recipe for absolute panner. Scanner? No, that's not worth it on a medium ship. It takes up too much space. You want that more on like a larger design. Oh, wait, what? There's a soccer planet down here? Somehow we got here the same time that the soccer arrived? They might have been sitting... Okay, it's Inferno planets down here. Okay. Well, I would expect for some reason, the Mechlar have not claimed these. Remember, they have controlled radiated, so they can colonize this if they want. I have no idea why they haven't claimed this yet. Right? Yeah, they have controlled radiated. I mean, they surely will get this soon. But any delay... I mean, there's just no way we can claim this. And it does seem like the Mechlar are probably going to be the main power in this galaxy. Still, we have an obvious recipe for advancing in this game. Eat the small fry. The Mercians are predisposed to hate us anyway. So take over them, take over the Sakura, who we know are over here. Then maybe go after the bears after that, and just like play defense against the Mechlar. Try to avoid having to fight the... Oh, Buddhist is not... Oh, Buddhist has already maxed out its factories. Never mind, it must have just done that. Okay, so now we just need to grow the pop, and then I definitely want some missile bases over here, because this is a very exposed planet. Rohan as well, but it'll take a little longer. Look at this, now we can relocate almost in 1 turn, not quite in 1 turn. Nemo's coming along, that looks good, and these planets are just teching, as you'd expect, teching. Let's build like 30 of those missile boats, and then we'll see. Hopefully we can clean up the pirates from there. And we do not have a spy report on these guys yet. Again, these two are just like dead even in pop, so it's impossible to know who's going to be. The good news is those early alliances seem like they dissipated right now. We apparently still have a spy with these guys, but I am not trying to steal from them. This would be I mean, number one, stealing from them wouldn't work because they're higher in computer tech anyway. But a spy getting caught would cause them to declare war, and then it could pull the humans and Sakura. That would be a very easy way to lose the game in a very stupid fashion. And yes, the Sakura clearly had an alliance with the Mechlar to get over there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had the range. Yeah, you guys were right. All right. How many of these... Did we get the spy report on the humans? We did. Alrighty. Okay, they have controlled Toxic. That could be... They have controlled Dead as well, though that wouldn't do anything for us. They do have the Planetary Shield. Their computer tech is not very good. So if we really need the Planetary Shield, we could try to steal it from them later if we had to. They also have Auto Repair Special, which we would badly like. Their ship-to-ship weapons are awful, but they have fusion bombs, so they could bomb out our planets. The good news is a force like this would have a lot of difficulty getting through. This would have trouble attacking Anthill, because they don't really... I mean, I guess they have the fusion bomb, but... Anyway, let's screenshot them and see if there's anything we can trade. Again, trade deals are really quite powerful, which is one of the reasons why turning off diplomacy made those taciturn games so difficult. Okay, they have a lot of stuff here. They have the auto repair special, which we very, very badly want. Controlled dead, unfortunately, would not help us. There's no planets that this would unlock. Yeah, they already have reduced waste 80%. Yeah, this only takes them from 80. I mean, it is an increase in their construction level. They have, their top tech is Zortrium, and this is the next tier beyond that. So, like, this does advance their tech level, but, like, auto repair special is really good for us. So I'm happy to trade for that. The humans don't seem that scary anyway. That's really nice. We're definitely going to want that on our big lumbering ships later. All right, anything else? Okay. I mean, we could take this to upgrade our shields for the time being. Planetology tech's always nice to have as well. Maybe we can trade this. Maybe we can save something useful. No, I'm not giving you that stuff. All right. I'm definitely not giving out Death Spores. And Mercs, no. Because their top missile right now was Hyper-Vs. Yeah, I'm not giving that out. Okay. And then let's just see what Kitty's got. So, good stuff. We made some very advantageous trades so far. Death Spores for Gatling. Yeah, I mean, none of the AIs have Death Spores. I don't want them deploying Death Spores against me. Definitely don't want that. Too bad there's no planet there. That would have been a nice place to advance. Also, a shame I couldn't get this spot. That would have really, that would have helped open up movement down here on the map. But it is what it is. The humans got that. I'm pretty content with having secured Anthill, because that was the planet I really needed to get. All right, so Buddhist is maxed out. Buddhist is already maxed out. All right, Buddhist, you need to just build bases for a while. So, like, Rohan is actually building, because we're the Klackons, it's actually building factories pretty quickly here. It also helps that we have some II, improved industrial tech. All right, we have 18 ships. We'll build for maybe like 2 more turns. And I don't think we got a support on these guys yet. All right, so we have 3 turns of the council. Again, we still don't know if the humans or Bolrathi are going to be our council opponent. I'm hoping it's not the humans, just because the humans always have good odds to cheese a Diplo victory. I'm hoping it's the bears again. Well, this is handy. Okay. So, according to this, the Bolrathi are ahead of the humans. So, according to this, the Bolrathi will be my council opponent. Good thing the Meklar have such low population. They must be mismanaging their planets. So I'm taking from that the Bolrathi are going to be my council opponent. Uh-oh, that's, yeah. Yeah, these guys are going to attack at some point. This is a sign that they are upset with me. At least our trade agreement is holding for the moment. I will immediately organize a coalition against them if they attack me. All right. All right, Kitty's pretty pathetic, as expected. However, Kitty does have good weapon tech, as you'd expect for her. She's actually a technologist personality, which is weird. But she has good weapons tech, but she's terrible in everything else. Her shielding is awful. Her construction tech is pathetic. Her propulsion tech is really bad. Yeah, she's pretty sad. But we might be able to get something useful from her, because she's so far behind. I think we actually have better tech than her, and on Impossible, that's pretty rare to be ahead of the computer in tech at this point. I mean, fusion beams would be effective, sure. They have good, I said they have good weapons tech. Oh, should be willing to give out BC3 and Ion Rifle. Both of these would be good to have. Ion Rifle is not a tech we're going to research. BC3, just better battle computers, is always nice. Yeah, they really all like the reduced industrial waste, 60%. The problem is, I don't want to make this trade because her construction tech is so bad. It would be a huge jump up for her. I'll pass. If I get into combat with looks like I'm going to get into combat, then I'll look into it. All right, we can now dial down spying, and now we'll just rotate our spies around periodically to keep up to date on what people have. They have battle suits. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't really need to prioritize ground combat tech when I'm not fighting these guys. Not fighting anyone at the moment. Right now, we want to get through this council vote. I just don't want to give them something that's going to give them a huge surge in construction tech. All right, so we have 2 more turns until the council vote. We should be up against the Borathi based on what we heard. Borathi should not be in a position to win a vote. They only have an alliance with the Sakura, who are pathetic. We haven't even met them yet, but I'm confident in saying they're pathetic. All right, and we now have 36 of these missile boats. I guess I'll build a few more. I do really want this pirates thing to go away because it is hurting. We're actually getting a lot of trade income, and it is hurting us there. How are we doing on tech? Well, we're close on, actually close on the useless range 7, which will do nothing for us, and then we're a long ways away on everything else. We're just kind of, again, we're just kind of chilling right now. Peaceful game, which I'm very content with. The AI does not handle the late game stuff very well, so time tends to favor the human player by a pretty good margin. Anyway, can it, yeah, you can build, max out your factories here. I wouldn't have gone out of my way to do this, but since I was already checking the planet, I might as well. And yeah, Buddhist is already getting missile bases up. With no planetary shield, that's going to be not nearly as much safety as it could be otherwise, but it's something. And hey, we're doing 11 factories per turn here. This will max out in about 15 more turns. So far so good. Let's go ahead and save just in case something horrible happens. I don't think we should be in a position to lose this council vote, but I have been surprised before. We definitely have the most population. As long as we're up against the Borathi, they're not allied with anyone. The humans have some votes, but I don't think they have enough to win either, to be honest. So I think we should be okay. Let's see. We seem to be being left alone. All right, here's the council. We are against the... Okay, we should be fine. The Borathi have no alliances. Can't imagine they're going to pull votes from everybody. All right, Kitty abstains with 3. So he has 5 votes. He's nowhere close to a veto block. Okay, again, they're very, very close. But this is the AI I wanted to be up against. Only 3 for the Meklar. Well, the Sakura have 5 votes. Interesting. Even though they... Interesting. I guess they're... All right, so we have 7. Does 17 out of 28 win? I'd like to vote for them. I think it's just short, but I am going to use my calculator to check the math before I accidentally lose the game for myself. It puts them at 60%. So we can vote for them. I was like, I think that's short of a 2/3 majority. Let's not lose the game here though. All right, and then Nemo will grow the pop that's missing. All right, so they will like us for that. You can see we've got a nice non-aggression pact, amiable relations. So they'll be happy with us. And yeah, I mean, I think we're in pretty good shape. How many of these boats do we have? 40. We'll do 1 more turn, and then I can put them on research. I mean, we're just kind of like relaxing here. I don't see any need to go on the offensive right now. I don't see where I would do that either. Best hope would probably be the Mershans, but we're gonna outscale Kitty by a lot. Like, look at the map, right? They have 3 planets. Like, we're gonna outscale them pretty badly. Hopefully we can get controlled radiated and then at the next tier and then colonize this rich world in our back lines. That would be nice. And then, you know, there are obvious expansion opportunity. Sakura are probably settling the south, but I mean, how many planets can they have? At most, they're going to have like 7 or 8. That's not that many. There's no runaway AI on this map. The Meklar are the closest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I mean, we should be at about 10, which is a decent place to be. No one else is beyond... I think the Meklar have 7. Like, you know, it's a very comfortable position right now. So, I'm feeling good. I felt in good position about games before, only to have them go horribly, but I'm feeling in good position at the moment. So, yeah, we'll see if we can pick this up again next week. And it's been an interesting start. Weird map. Thank goodness I had Controlled Baron. That would have been awful if I'd been missing Controlled Baron. Yeah, I'm the runaway. No one. I actually was the first to 6 planets. I might be the first to 12. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys back next week. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Take care, folks. Bye.